Chapter 192. Humanity's Underground Base Beside Archaeological Ruin Number 9. War God Luofeng, here are some clean clothes, War God Luofeng. Do you need anything else? The black Luofeng glanced at the two girls at the door and waved his hand. No need. With a pause sound, he closed the door. I haven't had a proper bath in 1 year and 3 months. Luofeng swiftly took off his battle uniform and clothes, rushed to the bathroom and entered the bathtub. The hot water in the bathtub was continuously flowing. After Luofeng entered, the water in the bathtub swiftly turned black. There's no helping it, the water in the ruins can only be used for drinking. Want to take a bath? Dream on. Luofeng laid in the bathtub as the hot water washed his body. He couldn't help but use his mini-quantum computer to make a call. The mini-quantum computer already copied all the phone numbers in his tactical communications watch. It's been 1 year, I wonder how Mom and Dad are doing. Are they okay? Actually, Luofeng wanted to make a call as soon as he left the archaeological ruin. However, he was surrounded by a large amount of workers at the base, so he could only find a room to take a bath first. Beep, beep, beep. The call connected. Jiangnan Headquarters City, Yangzhou City, Mingyue Sector. In a quiet room, Luo Hongguo was laying on the bed with a pale face. There was a 4 beside him, clearly on 4. There were 2 nurses in the room. It's Luofeng, it's Luofeng. The phone rang. Luo Hongguo, who originally had his eyes closed with a pale face, instantly opened his eyes wide. He fiercely turned his head and looked at the phone on the bedside table. Without thinking too much, Luo Hongguo tried his best to flip over and grab the phone with his left hand. This scene scared the 2 nurses. One of them said, "Mr. Luo, you can't move your waist, let me do it." "No problem," as if Luo Hongguo had infinite strength. His waist hurt as if it was someone else's waist, and he swiftly grabbed the phone. Looking at the display, Luo Hongguo couldn't believe it. It's really Feng. Who's calling? Is it Feng? Keep in mind that the Dojo of Limits already confirmed Luo Feng's death. Luo Feng's parents didn't know that Luo Feng was in archaeological ruin number 9, so they always thought that the Dojo of Limits had 100% proof of his death. After taking a deep breath, Luo Hongguo answered. Beep. Hey. Luo Hongguo's voice was hoarse, low, and carried a trace of nervousness as well as a trace of anticipation. It was like holding a piece of tofu, worried that it would break at any moment. "Dad, it's me." That voice full of vigor and strength, that voice that had resounded countless times in Luo Hongguo's dreams, that voice that he couldn't be more familiar with, made Luo Hongguo's eyes widen instantly. Luo Hongguo's hands trembled. "It's Little Feng, is that you?" "It's me, Dad," said Luo Feng. "Why aren't you video calling me? Let me see you." Luo Hongguo hastily said. He was afraid that someone was deliberately teasing him. After all, with the current technology, it was not difficult to imitate a person's voice. "Dad, I'm showering, and I have a big beard on my face." Luo Feng was a bit embarrassed. Beep. The video started. Luo Hongguo stared at the phone screen carefully. In the faint heat of the bathroom, there was a figure with long, wet hair and a big beard. However, the shape of the face, especially the eyes, made Luo Hongguo's eyes light up. In the video, a blade flew up and swiftly scraped across Luo Feng's face. The big beard was swiftly shaved off and a handsome young man appeared. It was Luo Feng, the son that Luo Hongguo raised for 20 years. Little Feng, you didn't die." Great Luo Hongguo's eyes were filled with tears. Luo Hongguo's eyes suddenly became moist. During this period of time, the husband and wife were indeed extremely sad because of their eldest son. "Dad, sorry, I was trapped in a place and couldn't get out. I just got out. Right now, I'm in South America. In a few hours, I'll be home," said Luo Feng. Okay, don't rush. Your matter is more important," said Luo Hongguo. Suddenly, the door to the room opened. Luo Hua, wearing a cotton sweater, was holding a cup of milk that he just made and walked in. "Don't worry, Dad. Everything's been taken care of." I'll be back soon. Is everything okay at home? The voice from the phone made Luo Hua, who was holding the cup of milk, freeze. Bro! Luo Hua opened his eyes wide in disbelief, and almost started crying. The two nurses on the side were shocked. They clearly knew how powerful this Mr. Luo Hua was. He was the 8th largest shareholder of China's largest bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. His assets exceeded 100 billion. The people that go in and out of his home are all powerful people in politics and business, as well as people from the country's special forces. Even they were sent by the country's special forces to take care of Luo Hua's father. How could such a powerful person cry all of a sudden? It's okay. Everything's okay at home. Everything's okay when you come back, said Luo Honghua. Okay, I'll be back soon. The phone hung up. Luo Hua walked to his father and said in disbelief, Dad, bro called? Bro didn't die? He'll be home in a few hours, said Luo Honghua. Ha 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 ha. Luo Hua seemed to be crying and laughing. I knew that bro would be fine, he would be fine. Ever since he was young, Luo Feng was like a towering tree that protected him. He even became a fighter to earn money so that he could stand up again. Luo Hua was very grateful to his brother. In his life, his brother was extremely important. When news of Luo Feng's death came, his parents were sad, and so was Luo Hua. However, he had to support this family. Before he was 20 years old, he had to fight with Li Yao and deal with all kinds of old foxes. Luo Hua was indeed very, very tired. In a cafe in Kyoto headquarters city, Su Xian was sitting on the sofa in the cafe. In front of her was an ultra-thin laptop. On the laptop was a photo of her and Luo Feng. In the photo, Luo Feng was smiling exaggeratedly like a big kid. Su Xian tapped on the screen and opened a folder. Holding a cup of hot coffee, Su Xian silently looked at the photos in the folder. Hello, can I borrow your phone? Smiled a handsome young man as he walked over. Su Xian glanced at him with a cold gaze. After that, she looked back at the laptop and didn't say anything. The handsome young man slightly frowned. However, when he saw the photo on the laptop, which was taken by Su Xian and Luo Feng on top of an extremely tall building in the wilderness, the handsome young man turned around and left. He couldn't help but to curse in his heart, damn, she already has a boyfriend. Even the cabbage gets eaten by a pig. That's not right. The background of the photo seems to be a deserted city, and monsters? A couple taking a couple's photo in a city in the wilderness? I saw wrong, the handsome young man couldn't believe it. And at this time, a sad music sounded. This made the handsome young man turn his head in confusion. Such a sad music as a ringtone? Su Xian, who was on the sofa, trembled. This music was a ringtone she specially set for Luo Feng's number. She took out her phone and answered. Su Xian, it's me. In an instant, the layer of ice that sealed Su Xian's heart melted. Exit of the underground headquarters. Luo Feng, who was wearing a black casual shirt and carrying an enormous backpack, smiled as he looked at the two flowing lights in the sky. After making the two calls, Luo Feng relaxed quite a bit. The one flying in front of the two flowing lights was Luo Feng's Emperor-level autojet. After leaving the archaeological ruin, Luo Feng ordered the autojet. The autojet immediately flew over. That's... Luo Feng looked at the blood-red triangular fighter jet beside him. The two fighter jets landed at the same time. The cabin door opened and a flight of stairs extended out. The black-clothed Hong was the first to walk out. Following behind him was a personal guard, Yao Rao, and an inspector, Lu Ha. Head Luo Feng slightly bowed. Good, you didn't disappoint me. The black-clothed man Hong directly walked in front of Luo Feng. His eyes seemed to see through Luo Feng, and I can feel that you're different from before, Luo Feng. You must have gained quite a bit in this 1 year and 3 months. Let's go, we'll talk after we board. Yes, Luo Feng was very clear on the head strength. Star Traveler level 6 stage. However, because he has a domain, Even Star Traveler Level 9 stage fighters aren't his match. He's invincible within the Star Traveler level. The difference between the Star Traveler Level 1 representatives and the head's strength. Just like the difference between a beginner-level warrior and an invincible war god. And the difference between him and the head was indeed very, very large. The prehistoric level Autojet was in front, the Emperor level Autojet followed behind. And within the prehistoric level Autojet, the black-clothed man Hong, Luo Feng, Allure and Luha sat in a circle of seat. Luo Feng, you have the translation software, so how did you stay in archaeological ruin number 9 for 1 year and 3 months? The black-clothed man Hong looked at Luo Feng. Did you discover some of the mysteries of archaeological ruin number 9? As the number 1 person on Earth, he received a few inheritances of archaeological ruins, so there are very few things that can pique his curiosity. And archaeological ruin number 9 is one of them. Yes, Luo Feng nodded. What mysteries, can you tell me? The black-clothed man Hong looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was very clear that the bald crystal person deleted all the information from his tactical communications watch because he didn't want the humans on Earth to know its mysteries. Only the members of the UNMO planet have the right to know. Because my brain expanse is relatively high, I triggered a special death mission, said Luo Feng half-truthfully. Death mission? Everyone was a bit shocked. The black-clothed man Hong asked, is the reward the same as the other war gods? There should be a difference. In the past, everyone who entered archaeological ruin number 9 and succeeded received a black god set. There is a difference. Not only did I receive a black god set, but I also received a spirit reader training method, said Luo Feng. Oh, the black-clothed man Hong was a bit disappointed. He is a fighter. He has to put all his energy into his martial path. As of now, according to Hong's understanding of the universe, even though he is a Star Traveler level 6, his level in the martial path is extremely high. Many star-level fighters don't even have their own domain. With a domain, he is invincible within the Star Traveler level. With such a high level in the martial path, he naturally won't waste time training his spiritual force. Archaeological ruin number 9, within the dark brown maze. The bald crystal person whose body was faintly glowing walked step by step. Luo Feng indeed didn't talk about what happened in the ruins. The bald crystal person had a bit of a human's melancholy as he sighed, Master, it's been 50,000 years. I haven't been able to contact you for 50,000 years, even though 50,000 years have passed. As a brain, it can only follow the most basic program and filter out war gods. P.S. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 193. The Emperor-level Autojet and the prehistoric-level Autojet were both floating in midair. Luo Feng took out a black god set from the Emperor-level Autojet, stepped on the soaring shuttle, and flew into the prehistoric-level Autojet. Head, the black god set, Luo Feng put it on the seat. Okay, the black-clothed man Hong slightly nodded. Hong didn't know whether to laugh or cry, because the AIs of the Autojet he sold were all simple AIs that listened to Hong's orders. If Hong ordered the Autojet to listen to Luo Feng, then the Autojet would naturally listen. And if Luo Feng and Hong both gave orders, then the Autojet would actually listen to the highest authority, Hong. The news of Luo Feng's death spread. Hong put away his Autojet and the black god set, and after knowing that Luo Feng came out, Hong hurriedly put the black god set back. Holy shit! When has Hong ever lost face like this? Good thing no one knows about this. Luo Feng, let's split up here, said the black-clothed man Hong. Yes, head. Luo Feng didn't care about anything else. After saying goodbye to the other two existences surpassing the war god level, he stepped on the soaring shuttle and entered his own Autojet. Number 1, go home, ordered Luo Feng. Whoosh! The dark blue Autojet instantly rose to 10 times the speed of sound and headed towards China's Jiangnan headquarters city, Yangzhou City. The sky was gray and there was no sunlight. The cold wind howled and blew up the fallen leaves. Many children and teenagers in the Minghui precinct ignored the cold and went through some physical strength training, agility training, and saber techniques training in the cold wind. The Minghui precinct had a strong martial culture. There were many parents standing around, and some of them were martial artists giving pointers to these children. Look, a fighter jet. It's dark blue. It looks like war god Luofeng's. Yes, it looks exactly the same. Quite a few people in the sector raised their heads in shock. A dark blue triangular fighter jet was descending and landing on the grass. Wah! The hatch opened. A youth wearing a simple black shirt and carrying a gigantic backpack swiftly ran towards a villa. Many adults and children in the sector who were watching from afar were stunned as they looked at that youth. Luo Feng. It's Luo Feng? What the hell? Didn't the dojo of limits announce his death? Our headquarters city's dojo is still holding a memorial. Many people were completely dumbfounded. Brother Chen, see you later. Luo Feng, who was running, and Chen Gu, who was a bit stunned, smiled. Luo. Chen Gu looked at Luo Feng in shock. He pointed at Luo Feng, speechless. At the memorial, the members of the Fire Hammer Squad were all heartbroken. Damn it, I'm alive again? Today, Minghui District was destined to be bustling with activity. Today, Jiangnan City was also destined to be bustling with activity. Luo Feng's house courtyard. His younger brother Luo Hua and mother Gong Xianlan were standing there. Beside them were a few bodyguards and servants. Little Feng. Gong Xianlan shouted. Mom! Luo Feng ran over. Compared to a year ago, his mother had obviously aged quite a bit. Luo Feng couldn't help but to glance at Luo Hua and say quietly, What's going on? You didn't make the 1,000-year black crow root into wine and are letting Mom and Dad drink it? Luo Feng already told his brother to make wine with his parents and brother. Back then, Luo Hua and his parents had said that they weren't in a hurry. They wanted to see if they could find other relatives so that they could get a share. Brother. Luo Hua shook her head. I'll tell you later. Where's Dad? Luo Feng was confused. After not seeing him for over a year, his father would have come out a long time ago. Your dad is in the house. Gong Xianlan pulled his son's hand and walked into the house. In the quiet room, his father, Luo Hongguo, was lying on the bed. When Luo Feng pushed open the door and entered, Luo Hongguo's eyes were filled with excitement like never before. The son he thought he lost forever has returned and is standing in front of him. Luo Hongguo even wanted to get up from the bed. Mr. Luo, you can't move. Be careful of your waist. The two nurses on the side were so scared that they ran over. Dad, what's wrong? Luo Feng's face immediately changed. He sat on the side of the bed and held his father's hand. He frowned deeply. Dad, something's wrong. Your face is bleeding. How come you can't get up? It's nothing. The doctor said that I'll be fine after resting for a year or so. Luo Hongguo revealed a smile. It was a smile that came from the depths of his heart. Dad, to be able to see you, it doesn't matter how serious my injuries are. Today I'm really happy. Very, very happy. As he spoke, there were tears of joy in the corner of his eyes. Luo Feng nodded. However, there was a bit of anger and confusion in his heart. Something's wrong. Luo Hua, what's going on? Luo Feng looked towards his brother. All of you leave. Luo Hua waved his hand towards the two nurses. The two nurses swiftly left, leaving only the Luo family of 4 in the room. Luo Hua looked at his brother. Brother, I'm useless. You can't blame your brother. Luo Hongguo, who was lying on the bed, raised his hand to stop him. Feng, during this period of time, especially after the dojo of limits announced your death, our family hasn't been at peace. They've used all sorts of methods to deal with our family. They've even used some of the residents in the sector. Your mom can only sleep with sleeping pills during this period of time. Luo Hua's face was green. He clenched his fists tightly and his eyes were like needles. Luo Feng looked towards his brother and said in a low voice, Tell me. It's Li Yao. Luo Hua took in a deep breath. Since 3 months ago, Li Yao has been using all sorts of methods to deal with our family through the HR Alliance. Even though he doesn't dare to directly kill the family members of the Dojo of Limits fighters. However, some methods are even more painful than killing without killing. I could only try my best. I even used the 1,000-year Black Crow route to contact an important person through your friend, Commander Li Dewei, and had him transfer me 120 billion worth of ICBC shares. Only after I became the 8th largest shareholder of ICBC can I use the special forces of the country to protect our family. However, Li Yao hasn't given up on taking revenge on us. Psychological, physical, sinister, dirty. He's using all sorts of methods. Luo Hua shook his head. Right now, Mom and Dad can only stay at home. I have no other choice. Dad got into a car accident last time. Luckily, he had bodyguards to protect him, or else he would have died. Luo Feng's face became uglier and uglier as he listened. Chi. The steel on the edge of the bed in his left hand was crushed into powder. He. Luo Feng's face was green. This Li Yao is so shameless. It's all my fault. After Li Yao hid in Europe, he was too lazy to care about him after he became famous. However, he didn't think that Li Yao would immediately come to take revenge on his family after his death was confirmed. Thankfully, his family has the status of family members of the Dojo of Limits fighters, so Li Yao didn't dare to do anything himself. If his brother was just a bit weaker then... Bastard Luo Feng's body was shaking. Rage rose from the bottom of his heart and his guts grew. His killing intent couldn't be suppressed. A few minutes later, after comforting his parents, Luo Feng went to the training hall upstairs. I made a mistake once, but I won't make a second mistake. Luo Feng rubbed the cold, dense blades on the soaring shuttle. His gaze was like a blade that made people's hearts palpitate. Li Yao, you think I won't dare to touch you just because you hide in the headquarters city? Indeed, there are laws that prohibit killing in the headquarters city. And killing a war god in the headquarters city is an even bigger deal. However, Luo Feng understood very well that the so-called laws are used by the country. And now that his true strength is comparable to the Star Traveler Level 1 stage, once he seriously studies soaring sky, the power of the soaring shuttle will be even stronger. Stronger than normal representatives. An existence surpassing the war god level, killing a war god. Maybe some people will get angry, but the consequences won't be too severe. Luo Feng can handle it. Beep. Luo Feng looked towards the mini quantum computer and activated the Palace of War Gods sharing system. Back then, Li Yao and his wife relied on this system to locate Wang Tong and the other war gods. This is a system installed in the Palace of War Gods to allow war gods to help each other in times of danger. And today, Luo Feng used it to find Li Yao. Oh, he's still in Jiangnan headquarters city. The glass window above the training hall opened. Whoosh! Stepping on the soaring shuttle, Luo Feng, dressed in black, swiftly rushed towards the sky. He turned into a curve as he charged towards the autojet. Voila! The hatch automatically opened. Golden net. Luo Feng looked into the cabin and his spiritual force directly grabbed the golden net like an invisible hand. Luo Feng looked towards the southwest direction with a gaze like a blade. Li Yao. Jiangnan headquarters city's HR Alliance Market Building, 32nd floor. Li Yao and his wife, Vanina, were currently talking with the person in charge of the HR Alliance market. There's still 3 more hours before the plane takes off. Vanina lowered her head and looked at her watch. Don't rush, said Li Yao indifferently. What are you panicking about? Then Luo Feng is about to come back, frowned Vanina. I told you before, we'll take the fighter jet back to Europe, isn't that great? Fighter jet? Li Yao shook his head. That fighter jet that's only worth around 10 billion? It's fine to fly short distances around a headquarters city, but if it's a long-distance flight, it'll take a long time to fly to an area where there aren't many people or in the ocean. If an accident happens, those who dare to fly long distances usually use a passenger jet, or an autojet, or an extremely high-level disc-shaped fighter jet that's worth around 50 billion. What's more, this is a headquarter city. Are you afraid of Luo Feng messing around? Sneered Li Yao. Li Yao froze and looked outside the glass window. Look outside? Mr. Zhu was shocked. In midair, a black shadow stepped on the soaring shuttle and directly flew towards the glass like a black bolt of lightning. It's Luo Feng! Exclaimed Vanina. Luo Feng! Li Yao's entire body was instantly protected by a black membrane, forming a black battle uniform and a black helmet. Only his eyes were exposed. Boom! The glass was smashed open. Luo Feng, don't you dare! Li Yao roared. At the same time, he ferociously smashed into the glass on the side and directly jumped into the air. From Li Yao's point of view, Luo Feng wouldn't dare to act recklessly in midair since he would be easily captured by the various surveillance devices in the headquarters city. Humph! Luo Feng swiftly pierced through. Whoosh! 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 Streams of light instantly shot out. A total of 16 streams of light were like 16 roaring flood dragons. The intense sonic booms caused the floor of the entire luxurious hall to shatter. Mr. Zhu hurriedly rolled to a corner. Luo Feng's eyes, which seemed to be burning with flames, were only staring at Li Yao. The 16 streams of light moved in a curved path. They were so fast that Li Yao couldn't dodge. They all landed on Li Yao's body at the same time. Humph! Throwing knives? A bit of disdain flashed across Li Yao's eyes. Boom! An unbelievable and terrifying force instantly passed through the Black God's set. Even after being weakened by 90%, this unbelievable force was still frighteningly powerful. If a single blade has an impact of over 500,000 kilograms, then 16 throwing knives have an impact of over 8 million kilograms. Even after being weakened by 90%, there's still over 800,000 kilograms left. In other words, Li Yao used his defenseless body to take on an impact of over 800,000 kilograms. Back when Luo Feng was in archaeological ruin number 9 and faced the mysterious black-clothed man's attack, Luo Feng used his shield to deflect most of the impact and even got his arm fractured. Just the shield alone was able to deflect half of the impact. His arm fractured as well, so only 300,000 to 400,000 kilograms of impact remained on Luo Feng's body. However, that was still enough to make Luo Feng spit out blood in pain. And for Li Yao, it's an impact of over 800,000 kilograms. Under normal circumstances, Li Yao would be shaken to death. Thankfully, the Black God set dispersed the impact to every part of his body. Plus, he's at the peak of the advanced level War God level, so his body fitness level is much stronger than Luo Feng's when he first entered archaeological ruin number 9. Pu. 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 In midair, Li Yao's face was completely red. Fresh blood crazily sprayed out of his mouth like a fountain. Just this terrifying impact, just this one time. Li Yao lost most of his fighting ability. Impossible, impossible! Li Yao roared in his heart. I'm at the peak of the advanced level War God level, and with the Black God set. Even the representatives who surpass the War God level can, at most, injure me in one attack. There are very, very few counselors who can kill me in one go. But Luo Feng, could he have broken through and become an existence surpassing the War God level? War Gods all know that a peak of the advanced level War God level with the Black God set can't be killed by someone of the same level. Even the representatives have a hard time killing him in one attack. There were a lot of people on the streets beside the plaza below the HR Alliance Market. Quite a few tourists were even taking pictures beside the plaza. Rumble, as if a cannonball had fiercely smashed into the plaza, some of the stone slabs on the plaza instantly exploded. The patrolling army was in a state of panic. The tourists who were taking pictures beside the plaza also screamed in fear. Some of the flying rocks even hit people. The pedestrians on the sidewalk screamed in fear. Some of the rocks even flew onto the street. The cars on the street instantly stopped and were blocked. Quite a few drivers furiously honked their car horns. Holy! A large amount of pedestrians stared at the plaza. They saw a youth wearing a black casual shirt standing on a soaring shuttle. He was actually floating in midair. And from the large hole in the plaza, a figure completely covered in black dashed out like lightning. The youth standing on the soaring shuttle had a cold gaze as he waved his left hand. The golden net formed into a ball in his left hand instantly struck Li Yao like lightning. It then automatically expanded and bound him. Just like a pig waiting to be slaughtered. P.S. 2 chapters complete. Summon. That. Monthly votes, recommendation votes, if it feels good, then just smash them. Chapter 194. The stone slabs on the plaza shattered and rocks flew everywhere. Golden net. When the golden net came, Li Yao, who was already like a stray dog, had a huge change in expression. He fiercely roared, "Open for me!" Li Yao's black arms suddenly expanded to 3 to 4 meters long. He tried to grab the two ends of the golden net and break it open. Chi! The moment the golden net bound him, the ropes at the edges of the golden net quickly fastened themselves as if a pair of hands were tying the rope. Li Yao's instantaneous burst of strength exceeded 1,000,000 kg. Chi, even though the golden net was taut, Li Yao couldn't break it. He was completely tied up, so how could he break free from it? This was left behind by the Emperor-level monster, the Black Widow Spider King, to trap Emperor-level monsters. Even an Emperor-level monster would have to spend a lot of effort to break free, so how could Li Yao break free? Not good! Li Yao, who couldn't break free, saw Luo Feng's murderous eyes and the 16 flowing lights from the corner of his eyes. Whoosh! 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 The 16 flowing lights were like 16 dragons roaring as they charged towards Li Yao. "I can't die!" Li Yao roared in his heart. Chi! Chi! At this critical moment, Li Yao, who was tied up and unable to struggle free, did only one thing. His black legs actually extended, lengthened, and thinned until they were only half as thick as before. His slender black legs passed through the holes in the golden net and stepped on the ground of the square. Li Yao suddenly had 2 slender black legs that were 2 meters long. Boom! The 16 flowing lights once again landed on Li Yao's body. Ah! Li Yao clenched his teeth as his eyes turned red. "I can't die! I can't die!" The terrifying impact of over 8 million kilograms hit his body. Even though it was weakened by the black god set, Li Yao still couldn't help but spit out blood. His organs felt like they were about to shatter, but his strong willpower allowed him to hold on. Whoosh! Borrowing the powerful impact of the 16 razor blades, Li Yao's slender black legs fiercely stomped on the ground. His speed was already fast enough, and with the addition of the impact of the 16 blades, he flew out like a black meteor, smashing a sculpture on the square into pieces. His slender black legs stepped on the ground and instantly changed direction, rushing into the crowd on the side of the street. Still not dead. Luo Feng's gaze turned cold as he stood on the soaring shuttle. Crazy, Luo Feng is crazy. He actually dares to openly chase after me in a place like the HR Alliance Market Plaza in a headquarter city. Crazy, he simply didn't want to live anymore. As long as I can grab a large group of ordinary people and use them as my shields, I will still have a chance of survival. Li Yao crazily dashed towards the street through the 2 black slender legs that extended from the black god set. The sidewalks were filled with people, and many people got out of the cars that were jammed in traffic. Thousands of people were staring at them, and all of them seemed to be very excited. Luo Feng's pursuit of Li Yao was as fast as lightning. Before many people could react, Li Yao was already rushing toward them. Ah! What the hell? Li Yao, who was completely black and had slender legs that were nearly 2 meters long, was indeed strange and scary. His lightning-like charge caused many people to panic. And at this time, Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, instantly increased his speed to over 1,300 meters per second. With a horrifying sonic boom, he directly landed in front of Li Yao. You can't escape. Luo Feng stood in front of Li Yao, and the 16 throwing knives hovered in front of him as he coldly looked at Li Yao. Luo Feng, you can't kill me, roared Li Yao, but fresh blood kept flowing out of the corner of his mouth. Luo Feng's 2 attacks caused Li Yao to be severely injured. He was only able to run because of his desire to live. Luo Feng laughed coldly. Suddenly, Luo Feng's expression slightly changed. On the street filled with people and cars, a blonde-haired girl slightly raised a small device towards Luo Feng and let out a strange smile. Luo Feng, let go of my husband. Vanina? Luo Feng slightly frowned. With a thought, he controlled the golden net to hover, causing Li Yao's entire body to hover in midair like a tied-up pig, with no way to escape. In midair, Li Yao couldn't use any force to escape, which made it even harder. Vanina! Yelled Li Yao in the golden net. Why should I let go of your husband? Luo Feng calmly looked at Vanina. His intuition told him that if he directly killed Li Yao, it would lead to terrible consequences. Luo Feng never really cared about this Vanina in front of him. In Luo Feng's heart, Li Yao was the mastermind. However, Luo Feng didn't know, Vanina was the one who put up the astronomical bounty. The laser cannon, used to kill Luo Feng in the continent of Australia, was also obtained by Vanina. Even the plan to kill Luo Feng's family was suggested by Vanina. Li Yao was nicknamed Vulture because many people who knew him used this nickname to show his ferocity. And Vanina's nickname, Scorpion, is because of her savagery. A dog that bites doesn't bark. Luo Feng didn't know that the one with the most meticulous thoughts and savagery like a snake or scorpion was this woman. Standing in the crowd, Vanina looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, Vanina held a small device. I've placed T-111 bombs in a residential sector beside the HR Alliance and on this street. As long as I press this button. The surrounding crowd went into an uproar. Many people started screaming and ran around. With a pring sound, the tens of thousands of people in that sector will all die. Vanina's voice was like a demon from hell as it echoed in everyone's ears. Fear, panic, and Luo Feng's eyes slightly focused. They were like needles as he stared at the woman in front of him. You sure are ruthless, said Luo Feng lightly. You want to kill my husband, so let's all die together. Vanina's voice was soft. Vanina's voice was gentle. Actually, Vanina had no choice. She and her husband had offended too many people in the past. Luckily, Li Yao had risked his life to enter archaeological ruin number 9 and obtain the Black God set. That way they could live a peaceful life. If her shield, Li Yao, dies, then Vanina's life will be terrible. Everyone stop! Everyone stop! Put down your weapons! The army stationed not too far away from the HR Alliance market swiftly rushed over. The government's personnel also quickly rushed over. The leader was a middle-aged man wearing a traditional Chinese suit. This middle-aged man cursed in his heart. Fuck 3 advanced level war gods fighting. If they want to fight, then let them fight. But why do they have to involve normal people? Tens of thousands of people could die at any time. The power of the T-111 bomb is extremely shocking. You 3-inch war god Luo Feng, Madame Vanina, let's talk this out. This middle-aged man squeezed out a smile, afraid of offending either side. Even though his position is higher, the people in front of him are all advanced level war gods. I advise you not to look for the T-111 bomb. Vanina glared at the middle-aged man. It'll be hard for you to find the bomb I placed. Even if you find it, you should know how hard it is to dismantle it. Once you start dismantling it, I'll know and I'll press the button. Cold sweat seeped out of the middle-aged man's forehead. He hates messing with people with power and influence like this. Advanced level war god and the CEO of the HR Alliance's China sector. Once he commits a crime, he'll be hard to deal with. Luo Feng, Vanina stared deadly at Luo Feng. Or my wife and I will die together with the tens of thousands of innocent people in Huaxia. Vanina's voice resounded beside Luo Feng's ear. Or, if you let my husband go, everyone will be better off. The choice is in your hands. Luo Feng's face was expressionless, only his gaze was getting colder. War God Luo Feng! Lady Vanina. The middle-aged man in the tang suit began to panic. He thought to himself, why isn't Mr. Lon here yet? Who? The temperature in the HR Alliance's plaza began to drop. It was already winter, but it suddenly dropped below zero. The water in the fountain instantly froze, and waves of cold air began to spread. A middle-aged man with faintly green hair flew over from the sky. Representative Lon Vanina, Li Yao, and Luo Feng all recognized him. Even if you have a grudge, don't drag ordinary people into it. Representative Lan's entire body was like a 1,000-year-old glacier, his gaze chilling. Counselor Lon. Vanina shook her head. There's nothing I can do. This Luo Feng wanted to kill my husband in the headquarters city. There's nothing I can do. I'm no match for him, so I can only choose this path. If my husband dies, then let those tens of thousands of innocent people be buried with him. What's more, the choice is in Luo Feng's hands. As long as he lets go of my husband, everyone will be better off. There were a total of 52 members of parliament on Earth. There are over 10 existences surpassing the war god level with Chinese blood. Even though only 3 to 4 of them are completely loyal to the country, many of them live like hermits within the country. They would also occasionally help the military, help the country, and help the HR Alliance. In short, they could benefit from both sides and live peacefully as hermit. Ice Blade Lan Ran was one of them who lived in seclusion in Jiangnan Base City. Lan Ran would only make a move when something big happened. And this time, Lan Ran had to make a move. Luo Feng, Representative Lan floated in front of Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you should know the laws of the country and the rules of the Palace of War Gods. There are a few bottom lines in the War God Palace's rules that no one is allowed to touch. Killing the family members of the dojo is one of them. Killing warriors in public in the base city is also a rule. War gods are not allowed to kill each other in the headquarters city. This is also one of the rules. Representative Lon said in a low voice, War god fighters are the wealth of humanity. Every one of them is important. You dared to kill a fighter in the HR Alliance Plaza in front of tens of thousands of people. That's a capital offense. But the one you want to kill is the war god of the War God Palace. That was even more of a crime. Even if you killed him, you would still be sentenced to death. The rules are made by the 5 speakers. Are you really going to trade your life for Li Yao's? And tens of thousands of innocent Huaxia compatriots? Among them are some youths that have just grown up, and some naive children that have just been born. Is it worth it? Representative Lan stared at Luo Feng. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 195. Many fighters in the HR Alliance market were looking at the plaza through the glass. The army surrounding the plaza was also looking at Luo Feng. With Luo Feng's soaring shuttle speed, even that Representative Lan won't be able to save Li Yao from him. The choice is in Luo Feng's hands. Yeah, it's not worth it. Luo Feng's expression was calm. But the golden net fell from the sky. At the same time, the ropes unraveled under the control of spiritual force, releasing Li Yao, who was heavily injured and not far from death. The golden net swiftly shrunk into a ball of string and flew back to Luo Feng. Luo Feng grabbed the ball of string and looked down at Li Yao. He then looked at Vanina in the distance and couldn't help but to sneer. Vanina, I admit that I underestimated you. Whoosh! Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and turned into a beam of light as he flew away. Phew! All the soldiers in the surrounding army let out a sigh of relief. They knew that there was a T-111 bomb on the street. With the power of the T-111 bomb, they would have been in trouble in the plaza. We escaped. The middle-aged man in the tang suit let out a sigh of relief. Phew! Vanina also let out a sigh of relief. Vanina ran to her husband Li Yao and helped him up. Are you okay? Good, I didn't die. Li Yao looked at the direction Luo Feng left in, his face as pale as paper. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and traveled over 1,000 meters per second. With an astonishing speed, he quickly flew out of Jiangnan headquarter city's main city area. He entered the food base area between the main city area and the Acropolis. A headquarter city is split into the main city area and the 8 Acropolis. Why are the headquarter cities split up? That's because, between the main city area and the 8 Acropolis, large tracts of land are used as food bases for the humans of the headquarter city. I underestimated Vanina. If I dealt with Vanina from the start, none of this would have happened. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew past the tracts of land like lightning, but luckily Representative Lon reminded me. Yes, there's the rules of the Palace of War Gods. Since I can't kill Li Yao personally, using the rules of the Palace of War Gods to kill Li Yao and his wife is the same. 1 year and 3 months of being trapped in one place. As soon as he came out, he saw his father lying on the bed. Guilt, regret, and anger immediately made Luo Feng's eyes turn red. Anger filled his entire chest. He didn't care about anything else and directly went to kill Li Yao. Yes. A warlord publicly killing another warlord in the headquarter city was a capital offense. Representative Lon is right, but Luo Feng can show his strength when the time comes. He is already comparable to an existence surpassing the war god level. A council member killed a war god in anger because of his family's safety. At most, he would be punished and jailed for a few years. War gods and counselors were completely different in terms of status and authority. If it was the chairman who killed the war god, he probably wouldn't even be punished. If it was the first chairman Hong who killed the other chairman, no one would dare to say that they would punish Hong. Mr. and Mrs. Li, your life is far less important than the lives of tens of thousands of ordinary people. It's fine now. There's no need to take the risk of going to jail for a few years just to kill Li Yao, because of the words Palace of War Gods rules. Luo Feng swiftly came up with a plan to kill both Li Yao and his wife. First, let everyone know of my strength. Let them know that I have the strength of an existence surpassing the war god level. Then, Mingyue Sector. Luo Hua. Luo Feng walked to his brother's room. Luo Hua, who was sitting in front of the computer, turned his head in confusion. Luo Feng directly said, "Which special department of the country did you hire to protect Mom and Dad? Immediately contact them and have the person in charge come to our house." Okay, even though Luo Hua was confused, he still immediately made the call. Who would have thought that in less than 15 minutes, a disc-shaped fighter jet would descend in Mingyue Sector? The 3 people in charge of the country's special department came to Luo Feng's living room. "Hello, Mr. Luo Feng, we've met before," smiled the white-haired old man. "Director Lu Yen," smiled Luo Feng, "the person in charge of Department 9. Haha, Mr. Luo Feng sure has a good memory." After shaking hands, the old man Lu Yen said, "May I ask why Mr. Luo Feng was in such a rush to find us?" "It's like this," Luo Feng's face was serious. "A while ago, Li Yao and his wife used all sorts of methods to deal with our family. Back then, my brother asked for your help." "Yes, that's what happened," nodded the old man Lu Yen. "You should have enough evidence to prove that it was Li Yao and his wife who were dealing with our family, right?" asked Luo Feng again. Lu Yen smiled. "This is Jiangnan headquarter city, China's territory. Most of their actions are under our surveillance. We do indeed have enough evidence to prove that Li Yao and his wife were behind all the actions against your family." This Lu Yen didn't hesitate at all as he leaned towards Luo Feng. "Very good, I need you to provide me with enough evidence," said Luo Feng seriously. "No problem, you definitely have enough evidence. You have to believe that in our territory, we have absolute control," Lu Yen said with a smile. The reason why Lu Yan was so cooperative. It's mainly because he received a phone call while the disc-shaped fighter jet was on its way here. Old Lu, that Luo Feng has strength surpassing the war god level. China's Kyoto headquarters city. In a majestic and elegant hall, China's highest-ranking leaders, the military's most powerful people, and even an existence surpassing the war god level. A middle-aged man wearing a leather jacket from the 1990s. Every single one of these people are important people who can shake China. A video was being played on a screen in the hall. Everyone was looking at him. Yep, the middle-aged man wearing the ancient leather jacket nodded. Look, this Luo Feng is controlling 16 weapons. With Li Yao's advanced war god level body fitness level and the black god set, it's impossible for him to make Li Yao spit out so much blood in midair with just one attack. Li Yao couldn't resist at all with just 2 attacks. The force of impact is definitely over 6 million kilograms. And Luo Feng was originally a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level war god level. When a spirit reader at this level controls throwing knives, the limit of each throwing knife is 560,000 kilograms. Luo Feng obviously isn't trying to show off by controlling 16 knives. This means that he can control 16 knives while maintaining his most powerful attack, 560,000 kilograms for each knife. 16 knives are between 8-9 million kg. Luo Feng's strength has definitely reached the average level of an existence surpassing the war god level. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket, lit one up, and started smoking. Smoke filled the hall. The people in this hall are the highest level of China, but no one would call this old guy. He looks like he's in his 40s, but in reality, he's almost 80. Who would have thought that China would have another existence surpassing the war god level? I suggest we immediately contact Luo Feng. China was the first to get hold of this news. However, with such a huge commotion at the HR Alliance Plaza, how could it be hidden from everyone else? The Dojo of Limits and the Thunder Dojo immediately received the most accurate surveillance footage after making 2 calls to China. They recorded the entire scene in 360 degrees, down to the pores of Luo Feng, Lan Ran, and the others. The Dojo of Limits, the Thunder Dojo, and even the HR Alliance quickly received the news. From the footage, they could easily estimate Luo Feng's strength. 16 throwing knives had an impact force of 8 million kilograms. 900 million kilograms. This data made everyone tremble in fear. Normal advanced level war god level fighters only have an impact force of around 800,000 to 900,000 kilograms. Luo Feng is 10 times their size. Definitely comparable to a Star Traveler level 1. When the powerful fighters of the Thunder Dojo received this news, they were so angry that they started cursing at the Dojo of Limits for being so lucky. They actually got another representative fighter. And after the HR Alliance received this news, they swiftly prepared a strategy to deal with Luo Feng, Li Yao, and Vanina. Mingyue sector was very peaceful, but in reality there was a lot going on. Mr. Luo Feng, Lu Yen pointed at the laptop. The evidence is currently being sent. There's still 10 seconds before all the files, videos, etc. are sent. Luo Feng stared at the laptop that Lu Yen personally carried. Even with Lu Yan's status, he doesn't have the authority to carry around all the files and videos with him. Transmission complete, smiled Lu Yen. Very good, thank you old man Lu. Luo Feng's heart relaxed quite a bit. Actually, the plan that Luo Feng instantly thought of in the HR Alliance Plaza was very simple. It was split into 3 steps. 1. Have enough evidence to prove that the mastermind behind the attack on his family was Li Yao and his wife. 2. Reveal his strength and become a representative. 3. Sue Li Yao and his wife through the Palace of War Gods as a representative. Suddenly, his cell phone rang. Luo Feng took it out of his pocket. Hello, Luo Feng, it's me, Lu He, a gentle voice carried over. Investigator Lu, smiled Luo Feng. Haha, you're still calling me investigator. Luofeng, oh Luofeng, you sure hid your strength well. When the head personally went to the Amazon region in South America to pick you up, you didn't even reveal your strength. Right now, the head and I just saw the video of you heavily injuring Li Yao in Jiangnan headquarters city, laughed Lu He. The head said back then that your strength has reached the level of a representative. Luofeng froze. He originally planned to reveal his strength, but he didn't think that the Dojo of Limits would find out after he made a move. It's good that they know. Once he sues Li Yao and his wife, he'll have enough evidence. A war god actually dared to attack a representative's family. How could that be? A war god attacking a war god's family is a serious crime. It's even possible that it's a death sentence. As for attacking a representative's family, it's without a doubt a death sentence. From today onwards, you are an existence that surpasses the war god level. Lu He's voice was filled with joy. Very soon, our Dojo of Limits will publicly announce a date. When that time comes, the entire world will know that the head will personally award you the position of investigator. You will be the 6th investigator of our Dojo of Limits. Luofeng, in the future, people will have to call you Representative Luo, Investigator Luo. Laughed Lu He on the phone. P.S. End of 2 chapters. Yep, Li Yao and his wife are going to court. Chapter 196. The 6th investigator of the Dojo of Limits. Even though he was mentally prepared, it would be a lie if he wasn't excited. But right now, he has more important things to do. Kill Li Yao and his wife. Old Luofeng held his phone and slightly waved towards Lu Yen. I'll be heading out first. Lu Yen took his laptop and left Luofeng's study. Only Luofeng was left in the study. There's someone else in your room? Laughed Lu He. Luofeng walked in front of the window. Yeah, it's someone in charge of China's special forces. I just asked him for some evidence. I'm preparing to sue Li Yao and Vanina through the Palace of War Gods and accuse them of murdering my parents. Lu He, what do you think will happen to Li Yao and his wife? Vulture and Scorpion dared to attack the family of a fighter? Lu He was shocked. Yeah, or else I wouldn't have chased after them in public, nodded Luofeng. No wonder. These two are too arrogant. Lu He's voice was filled with anger. Attacking the family of a fighter is a taboo. Lu He, what do you think will happen if they're convicted? Asked Luofeng. Death penalty, without a doubt, death penalty. And they have to be executed immediately, said Lu He angrily. Don't worry, Luofeng. Your identity is different now. The Palace of War Gods will directly raise your status to representative. As a representative, status and power are definitely different. Vulture and Scorpion are the masterminds behind this. They harmed the parents of a representative, so of course they have to be heavily punished. Luofeng, you have to know that the Palace of War Gods Council is formed by 52 representatives and 5 chairmen. The council decides the outcome of the trial. Harming a representative's family is a taboo. This is the same as provoking all the representatives, so they have to choose to be heavily punished. That's how they can scare everyone, said Lu He. This is an unspoken rule. As long as they threaten the status and power of all the representatives, they will be punished by all the representatives, so, as long as there's enough evidence, there's only one outcome for the Vulture and Scorpion couple. Death penalty, immediately executed. Lu He said so much in one breath. Clearly, he was filled with anger. Luofeng let out a sigh of relief. Just as he expected, in reality. When the Vulture-Scorpion couple made their move, Luofeng wasn't even a representative or investigator yet. And because Luofeng's identity has changed, the Vulture-Scorpion couple's fate has also changed. In the study, documents and videos were displayed on the laptop screen. Luofeng read carefully. Humph. His methods are actually so sinister and unscrupulous. Luofeng's face turned ugly. After reading through the large amounts of documents and videos, Li Yao and Vanina's methods from start to finish were all clear. Luo Feng was also scared. If his brother was just a bit useless, then his parents would really be in trouble. Luckily, his brother was ruthless enough to use the 1,000-year Black Crow route and his connections to become the 8th biggest shareholder of ICBC. In the era of headquarter cities, it was almost impossible to buy shares of China's largest bank, the Industrial and Commercial Bank, on a large scale. Ordinary major forces would not be willing to sell it. Even if one had money, they couldn't buy it. Only treasures like the 1,000-year Black Crow route that couldn't be bought with money could be exchanged for. This evidence is too sufficient. Even 1/10 of the evidence is enough to prove their crimes. Luo Feng immediately closed the videos and Word files. After packing all the evidence, he entered his personal page and sent it to the Palace of War Gods. In the mail, he wrote down the names of the people he's suing. In just 3 minutes, his cell phone rang. Luo Feng picked up his cell phone. Representative Luo Feng, hello, a clear and gentle voice rose. We just received your mail. May I ask if Representative Luo Feng himself wants to sue Li Yao, Vanina, and Paulinus? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. All right, when the location and time of the hearing are confirmed, we will notify Representative Luo Feng. After confirming through the phone, some of the workers in the Palace of War Gods immediately started to arrange this matter. There were indeed a lot of documents and videos. Luo Feng spent around 2 hours reading them all. When this news reached the ears of the head of the Dojo of Limits, it was already evening. Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, inside the gigantic spaceship. In the quiet room, the black-clothed man, Hong, was holding a cup of hot tea as he flipped through some information on the internet. Master! A low voice resounded in the quiet room. Representative Luo Feng has sent evidence to sue Li Yao, Vanina, and Paulinus for the mastermind behind the murder of their parents. Is there enough evidence? The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly frowned. There is enough evidence, replied the voice. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly nodded. Notify the 3 best lawyers in the Dojo of Limits and have them take on this case. Also, arrange for a Star Traveler-level fighter to personally arrest Li Yao and Vanina. And tomorrow, at 15:30 p.m., they will be tried in the highest court in our headquarters. Luo Feng is about to publicly become the investigator of the Dojo of Limits. I want this case to be handled beautifully, commanded the black-clothed man, Hong. Yes, after the low voice said this word, the quiet room returned to silence. Mingyue Sector. At night, tens of thousands of houses were lit up. Luo Feng stood on the balcony and looked at the endless night sky and the endless river of stars. HM? His cell phone rang. Luo Feng took out his cell phone and saw that it was Su Xian's number. He connected. Hello, why didn't you come to pick me up? Asked Su Xian. Sorry, I was busy with some stuff and just finished. How about I go to Kyoto headquarters city now? Luo Feng was a bit apologetic. He just came back and was completely focused on his parents, so he didn't think about picking up Su Xian. I'm here, right in front of your Mingyue sector, PA. The phone was turned off. Luo Feng slightly froze. Su Xian already came from Kyoto headquarters city to his house? I'm such a jerk. Luo Feng cursed himself in his heart and directly leaped out of the balcony. Like a blur that streaked across the sky, with the help of his spiritual force, he flew around 100 meters in the air before landing. After a few leaps, he arrived around 30 meters away from the gate of Mingyue sector. Luo Feng immediately saw, in front of the sector, under the dim light of the street lamp, a slightly skinny girl silently stood there. This scene made Luo Feng's heart ache. After becoming his girlfriend, not only did Su Xian not get any benefits, but she also suffered quite a bit. When he came back, he didn't even have time to take care of her and let her rush over from thousands of miles away. Su Xian looked through the sector gate and her body couldn't help but to slightly tremble. It's winter right now and it's night time. Even though Kyoto headquarters city is also cold, the air there is dry, while Jiangnan headquarters city is damp and cold. And after Su Xian received Luo Feng's call, she quickly took the earliest train and only arrived at Yangzhou city after a few hours. She didn't even notice that Jiangnan headquarters city is even colder. Su Xian, a voice rang beside her. Su Xian froze and turned her head to the side. That familiar silhouette was her first boyfriend. For the past year, especially in the past 3 months, Su Xian's heart has been hurting every single day. Luo Feng. Su Xian's voice was a bit hoarse. After shouting, she couldn't help but cry. She directly hugged Luo Feng and hugged him tightly. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Luo Feng hugged Su Xian and felt Su Xian's tears soak through his clothes. Under the cold winter wind, under the dim street lamp. 1 year and 3 months later, Luo Feng and Su Xian finally met again. Compared to Luo Feng and Su Xian, the heartache and warmth of their reunion was obvious. Right now, even though Li Yao and Vanina were together, their hearts were in a mess. On the flight from Jiangnan headquarters city to Paris headquarters city in Europe, Li Yao and Vanina held each other's hands. We're in big trouble now. Vanina glanced at the surrounding passengers and then lowered her voice. He became a representative. If he wants to deal with us in the future. Don't be afraid, Li Yao lowered his voice. We've been waiting for the flight in Jiangnan headquarters city for 2 to 3 hours. In these 2 to 3 hours, he didn't come to find us. When we return to Paris headquarters city, that's our territory. Our HR Alliance's representative and that senior of mine are there. It'll be fine, it'll definitely be fine. He wasn't sure if he was comforting Vanina or himself. How could this happen? How did he become a representative? Vanina clenched her teeth. Li Yao's eyes also flashed fiercely. Hey! Endure, endure, we can only endure. Li Yao lowered his voice and squeezed each word out through his teeth. The flight finally arrived in Paris, Europe. The sky in Paris was a bit dark, but it wasn't completely dark. In Paris headquarters city's airport, the flight slowly landed. After stopping, the cabin door automatically opened and a flight of stairs extended out. The passengers came down one by one. We're back, we're finally back to Paris. Vanina let out a smile. Li Yao also let out a rare smile. This was the first time he let out a smile after knowing that Luo Feng became a representative. The vulture-scorpion couple walked down the flight of stairs in the crowd. Li Yao, Vanina, a voice rang. The vulture-scorpion couple was startled. They turned their heads and saw 4 figures walking over from not too far away. One of the 2 people in the lead was a middle-aged man with brown curly hair wearing a black robe. His gaze was like lightning, making people afraid to look at him. And the person next to him had long white hair that draped over his shoulders. His entire body was like a piece of dead wood. Representative Yen, Representative Bonnet. Vanina was startled. Senior, Li Yao looked at the old man. The old man, Yen Hai, had a deep relationship with Li Yao. Representative Bonnet looked coldly at Vanina and Li Yao and said indifferently, "We represent the Palace of War Gods to officially arrest you. If you resist, we have the right to kill you both." Li Yao and Vanina widened their eyes. They thought that they were back in their territory, but they didn't think that something like this would happen. "Senior!" Li Yao looked at Yen Hai. Yen Hai sighed. "Little vulture, this is an order from the highest level of the Palace of War Gods. No one can help you. You were too reckless this time, too reckless. Let's go. If you don't resist, you might still have a chance to live." If they were arrested in the name of the Palace of War Gods, they would be making an enemy out of the entire Palace of War Gods. The Palace of War Gods is a power that gathers all war gods and existences surpassing the war god level. Resist? Do you want to die? Crack. Vanina and Li Yao were put on special handcuff. They were a bit stunned, but they didn't resist at all. Senior, Li Yao looked at Yen Hai. Yen Hai sighed and didn't say anything. "Take them away," Representative Bonnet coldly ordered. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 197. That night, Liao and Vanina were apprehended in a panic. They were directly escorted to the Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, and Luo Feng and Su Xian, this young couple, snuggled together and talked about how they missed each other over the past year. "Sleep here tonight?" Luo Feng hugged Su Xian as he lightly laughed. "You wish," said Su Xian, and then lowered her head to look at the time on her watch. "It's already 12 p.m., Luo Feng, send me back, all right?" Luo Feng smiled. The two of them chatted intimately for so long, their emotions had calmed down quite a bit. He boarded the autojet and left Yangzhou City's Mingyue district, heading towards the Su family's house. Within a few minutes, the autojet was a few thousand meters above the Su family's house. Inside the autojet in the air. "Luo Feng, I want you to promise me that in the future, before you do anything dangerous, you have to tell me first." Su Xian stared at Luo Feng. "I won't stop your career or your pursuit. But, I need to know your condition." Su Xian. Luo Feng nodded. "All right, I'll tell you in the future. Before, I just didn't want you to worry." "I'm willing to worry about you. I want to worry for you." Su Xian stared at Luo Feng. "But what I'm most afraid of is that you won't tell me anything." Luo Feng slightly nodded, his heart feeling warm. Although his girlfriend came from a big family, the elite education of the big family also made her very smart and understanding. There was also a saying on the internet that some women often clung to people without giving them any space, and some women often pestered people endlessly because of trivial matters. However, Su Xian wasn't that kind of person, which made Luo Feng happy. "Oh yeah, can you re-enroll after you quit school?" asked Luo Feng. "I'm withdrawing from school, not suspending it. It's very difficult to re-enter the university through formal channels, unless you use some family connections." Su Xian shook her head and said, "Anyway, I don't care about a paper diploma. I've been in university for more than 2 years, and I've learned most of the professional knowledge." He had already experienced university life. It was enough. "I'm going to start my own company." "Start a company?" Luo Feng froze. "Yes." Su Xian nodded. "The family is prepared to let me take over some things, but I don't want to take over immediately. No matter what I do, it's better to start from a young age. I'll start my own business first and summarize my experience through practice. In the future, we will gradually take over the family business." "Oh, my Luo Feng's girlfriend is a strong woman," laughed Luo Feng. "You don't like it?" Su Xian looked at Luo Feng. "I like it. After all, as a martial artist, I can't accompany you most of the time. Even if we get married in the future, I don't want you to be a housewife without your own career," said Luo Feng. "Nowadays, young people's views on love are like this. Couples usually have jobs. Without a career, one's life would be boring." "Thank you, Honorable Representative Luo Feng, for understanding this little girl's thoughts." Su Xian smiled and made a saluting gesture. After doing this, Su Xian couldn't help but laugh. After sending Su Xian home, Luo Feng was in a good mood. Yangzhou City's Mingyue sector, Luo Feng's training hall. Late at night, Luo Feng sat cross-legged. "How efficient!" Luo Feng looked at the information he received on the mini-quantum computer. They arrested Li Yao and Vanina so quickly. Tomorrow at 15:30 p.m., the highest court in the Dojo of Limits World Headquarters? Li Yao, Vanina. Tomorrow I'm done with you. Luo Feng closed this message. Right now, Luo Feng doesn't even consider the vulture-scorpion couple his opponents. Different statuses, different horizons. Maybe the youth who was fleeing in the wilderness back then was terrified, cautious, and extremely careful when the vulture-scorpion offered a sky-high bounty. However, after going through the elite training camp, Misty Island, and archaeological ruin number 9, the vulture-scorpion isn't this youth's opponent anymore. From what the bald crystal person said, the so-called archaeological ruin was left behind by some race in the universe. For example, archaeological ruin number 9 was left behind by the master of Yun Mo planet. That Yunmo planet is clearly one of the planets in the vast universe. Luo Feng felt an unknown sense of danger. Some races in the universe can leave their ruins here. This means that one day the races in the universe will descend. At that time, it'll be hard to say whether it'll be a blessing or a curse for humanity on Earth. And the bald crystal person also said that in the future, Earth will be discovered by some countries in the universe. The stronger I become, the better off I'll be, and I'll even be able to help my country. In Luo Feng's subconscious, he no longer views the monsters on Earth as his opponents. The true danger of Earth is in the universe. Compared to some of the powerful countries and races in the universe, Earth is indeed very weak right now. Even the number of Star Traveler level fighters is pitifully small. As for Earth's so-called high technology, it's not even worth mentioning in the universe. What I need to do right now is just like what the bald crystal person said, work hard. I'll first use Hong and Thunder God as my goals and work hard to surpass them. I'll become the strongest fighter on Earth. Luo Feng's eyes were sharp. Back then, the bald crystal person left a key to breaking through to the Star Traveler level on Luo Feng's mini-quantum computer. However, today, Luo Feng was busy dealing with Vulture Li Yao and then comforting his girlfriend. He didn't have time to look at it. Now that he has time, Luo Feng immediately started flipping through it. I can't even find an effective way to break through to the Star Traveler level on Earth. Luo Feng was filled with curiosity. He quickly found the key to breaking through from the mini-quantum computer on his arm. He started reading it carefully. The number of apprentices in the universe is uncountable. Stepping into the Star Traveler level from the student level 9 stage. It's the most important and basic step for a life form to rise. Once you step through it, you'll officially become a genetic fighter and spirit reader in the universe. This section describes how to become a Star Traveler level 1 stage spirit reader. Spiritual force, in reality, can also be called spiritual force or soul energy. The human body is mainly split into the body and the spirit, or the body and the soul. The spirit and the soul are actually the same. Spirit, soul, is split into spiritual force, soul energy, and consciousness. When your spiritual force is strong enough, you can leave the realm of consciousness and control the outside world, enter the realm of consciousness of other living beings, etc. When your spiritual force is strong enough, it's called spiritual force. How can a student level 9 stage spiritual force break through to the Star Traveler level? First, your spiritual force has to reach the peak of the student level 9 stage. Next is the consciousness. Spiritual force is split into spiritual force and consciousness. Spiritual force covers the entire realm of consciousness and is a tangible existence. Consciousness, on the other hand, was something that couldn't be touched. Just what is this consciousness? Just what use does it have? You can say it like this: spiritual force is the soldier, and consciousness is the commander. The battle power of the entire army, first depends on the soldier, and second depends on the commander. In the simplest case, when a normal person is excited, they can lift heavier objects, and when their spirit is low, they can only lift half of their normal weight. These two situations have the same physical strength, but it's the excited and low states of the spirit, resulting in different battle power. Consciousness is important to fighters, and the same logic, consciousness is also important to spirit readers. A powerful commander will be able to deploy troops better. The same student level 9 stage, those with strong consciousness can accurately control 10 hidden weapons, or even more hidden weapons, and those with weak consciousness can only control 4 or 5 hidden weapons. This is the difference in consciousness. There are many ways to train consciousness. For example, after going through hardships and difficulties, a fighter's will become firm. Actually, firm willpower is also a sign of a strong consciousness. Of course, that is a very crude method. There are many ways to train consciousness in the universe. The most mainstream ones in Unimo Planet are the Manipulator's Secret Techniques Basic 312 Forms, and the Illusionist's Secret Techniques Basic 186 Forms. Of the two styles, one is masculine and the other is feminine. Both are extremely effective. Of course, the talents of the students are different. Some have a low mind expanse, some have a high mind expanse of over 20, even over 30, over 40. The higher the mind expanse, the harder it is for them to break through, but a strong consciousness will also allow them to achieve greater things in the future. But when consciousness and spiritual force both meet the requirements, then the next step is to break through. Both have reached the limit and can break through at any time, but the time is uncertain. At this time, there are three ways. The first is to wait for an opportunity, or to meet a certain situation, and when your emotions are agitated, your consciousness will be stimulated and you will break through. Or you can wait for 3 to 5 years and still not break through. The second is to continue to strengthen your consciousness. A strong consciousness can instantly allow your spiritual force to break through. The third is the 99 Spirit Forging that this chapter is talking about. It is split into 81 steps, and each step takes 1.5 hours. During this 99 Spirit Forging, if you stop in the middle, you have to start all over again, so you have to do it in one go. Once you complete the 81 steps, you can break through to the Star Traveler level. Next is the detailed method of the 99 Spirit Forging. Luo Feng was extremely excited as he read. The manual left behind by this bald crystal person is definitely a treasure. It's much better than the Spirit Reader Basics that Hong gave him. The translated language is extremely simple. It basically explains the source of a Spirit Reader's power, spirit, which is the soul. This spirit is split into two parts, spiritual force and consciousness. Consciousness is the commander, and spiritual force is the soldier? Yeah, according to what the bald crystal person said, my consciousness and spiritual force have both reached the limit, and can break through at any time. However, if I wait like an idiot, who knows how long I'll have to wait. Luo Feng instantly decided, I'll train according to this 99 Spirit Forging. Luo Feng didn't know that even in the vast universe, a technique that can allow a student to break through to the Star Traveler level from the Student Level 9 stage is extremely valuable. Some powerful races and countries in the universe wouldn't be willing to give it to others. Each step takes 1.5 hours, and there are 81 steps in total, which means I'll need a bit more than 5 days. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. The trial starts tomorrow, so I don't have enough time. After the trial ends and the Vulture-Scorpion couple is executed, I'll finish this 99 Spirit Forging in one go. Let's look at this Soaring Sky technique. According to what the bald crystal person said, only by using the Soaring Sky technique can I truly unleash the power of the soaring shuttle. Maybe I'll be able to improve quite a bit with just one night. With a thought from Luo Feng, a scroll that was glowing with specks of starlight immediately appeared on the surface of his black vest. This was the Soaring Sky scroll he got from the archaeological ruin, which Luo Feng kept in his black god vest. P.S. 2 chapters completed, preview. 3 chapters tomorrow, 3 chapters the day after. Then I'll have to pull down my monthly vote. No choice, I have to pull down my monthly votes at the end of the month. If I don't, I'll be overtaken. I'll work hard to pull down 3 chapters tomorrow, 3 chapters the day after. Hopefully, the monthly votes will be like snowflakes, floating towards me. Chapter 198. Soaring Sky Instruction Manual. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the book in his hand. After receiving this instruction manual, he never seriously looked at it. The paper of this instruction manual was made of a special black material, unlike any material on Earth. As for the specks of starlight on the cover, they had a faint aura, but upon closer inspection, they couldn't help but feel apprehensive. Even a book is so special. Luo Feng flipped to the first page. This is the instruction manual of the UNMO planet's manipulators. The one who practices this is not allowed to spread this instruction manual. If you pass it to other members of the UNMO planet, you will be punished with 60 years of hard labor. If this is spread outside of the UNMO planet, you will be killed without mercy. This short sentence shocked Luo Feng. Clearly, the UNMO planet is a very strict organization. Even the internal members are not allowed to spread the instruction manual. As for spreading it to the outside world, that is even more taboo. Since I passed the death mission, that bald crystal person clearly recognized me as a member of the UNMO planet. Luo Feng flipped to the second page. Soaring Sky Instruction Manual is a unique instruction manual for using the soaring shuttle. The soaring shuttle is one of the spirit weapons created by the master of the UNMO planet, Hu Yenbo. However, only by using the Soaring Sky Instruction Manual can one unleash the true power of the soaring shuttle. Using the soaring shuttle allows the spirit manipulators of the UNMO planet to kill enemies above their level. The soaring shuttle has a total of 3 major forms. The first form can be trained with an amplitude of 12. The second form can be trained with an amplitude of 30. The third form is the soaring shuttle's final form. You need to reach the universe level, have your own domain, and have an amplitude of 48 to be trained. The Soaring Sky Instruction Manual can be directly flipped to the first form. The second form requires an amplitude of 30 to be flipped to the second form. As for the third form, you need to reach the universe level to be able to open it. Next is the instruction manual for the first form. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry after reading this page. It seems like it's impossible for him to flip through the entire instruction manual. Let's give it a try. Luo Feng quickly flipped through the pages. He flipped through the special black paper one by one. However, when he flipped through about a third of the way down, Luo Feng couldn't flip through it anymore. It was as if the 2/3 of the instruction manual was stuck together. And the last piece of paper that Luo Feng could read had a very mysterious and complicated picture on it. There was a line of words next to it. Infuse your spiritual force into the catalog. If you succeed, you can read the contents of the second form of the soaring shuttle. It seems very mysterious. Luo Feng stared at the picture. With a thought, he extended his spirit energy into the picture. Boom! In an instant, his spiritual force entered a universe. At this moment, Luo Feng seemed to have transformed into one of the planet. The vast universe seemed to have entered a moment of great destruction. Countless planets madly flew towards Luo Feng. Tens of thousands, countless. The apocalyptic scene made Luo Feng tremble. He quickly used his spiritual force to control the planets, wanting to block them. Rumble. In less than a second, Luo Feng was smashed into pieces by countless planets. His spiritual force was directly destroyed. Who? Luo Feng's forehead was sweating as he looked at the picture in front of him with fear. What the hell? An illusion? Luo Feng was shocked. He had never heard of a spirit reader on Earth that could create such a realistic illusion. Looks like it's just as the instruction manual said. You must reach an amplitude of 30 before you can read the contents of the second form. And my amplitude is currently 16, so I'm still far from it. Luo Feng was clear in Archaeological Ruin number 9 that the number of concealed weapons you can control while maintaining maximum power represents the amplitude of your amplitude. Luo Feng's amplitude is 16. In the entire world, there isn't a single spirit reader stronger than him. Of course, in the vast universe, Luo Feng's results are too far away. He can only show off a bit on Earth. The soaring shuttle is divided into attack form, defense form, and flight form. The first form of the soaring shuttle is the body of the soaring shuttle, the attack form is the mountain drill, and the defense form is the mountain bulwark. The first form is divided into 3 levels. The first level can be trained by an amplitude of 12, the second level can be trained by an amplitude of 18, and the third level can be trained by an amplitude of 24. Soaring sky is divided into 3 major forms. Each form has 3 levels, which means there are a total of 9 levels. And Luo Feng's amplitude is currently 16, so he can only train the first level of the first form. Amazing, amazing, just what was the master of Yunmo planet, Hu Yenbo, thinking? As Luo Feng read, his admiration for the master of Yunmo planet grew. According to the instruction manual, the soaring shuttle and soaring sky are just one of the many spiritual weapons created by the master of Yunmo planet, Hu Yenbo. And that archaeological ruin number 9 was also left behind by Hu Yenbo, so the complex engravings on the 365 blades of the soaring shuttle have this kind of effect. But what's the theory behind it? Luo Feng didn't understand the last part. Just like how to use a submachine gun, the instruction manual only tells you how to use it, but not how to make it. The soaring shuttle doesn't explain the theory behind making it. Amazing, too amazing. Luo Feng was a bit excited. I'll go to the wilderness right now and try to train the first level, ************ in the middle of the night. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew out of Mingyue sector. He transformed into a beam of light and swiftly flew out of Yangzhou City, arriving at the wilderness. Around 300 or so kilometers away from Yangzhou City. A figure descended from the sky and spread out his spiritual force without holding back, causing some of the monsters on the desolate and dilapidated highway to flee in panic. Luo Feng looked at a hill 100 meters away. The soaring shuttle, in the shape of a shuttle, instantly split into 365 extremely thin curved blades. Countless blades floated in front of Luo Feng. Combine. Mountain drill. Luo Feng's gaze froze. Whoosh! The 365 blades instantly gathered together to form a conical shape. On the surface of the cone were circles and circles of spirals, just like the electric drills that workers use to drill through walls. I wonder if I'll succeed the first time. Luo Feng's mind swiftly flashed with the technique to control the mountain drill. Break! Luo Feng stared at the hill in the distance. 12 strands of spiritual force that reached Luo Feng's limit immediately followed the engravings on the mountain drill. Golden engravings suddenly appeared on the originally silver-colored soaring shuttle. Each golden engravings carried a shocking amount of power, as if they were going to tear apart the earth and sky. A total of 12 golden engravings extended from the base of the mountain drill towards the tip of the mountain drill. One of them arrived first. Chi. The 12 golden engravings instantly collapsed and the mountain drill returned to its original silver color. Control failed. Luo Feng shook his head helplessly. Again, Chi. The 12 golden engravings collapsed once again. In terms of level, Luo Feng's current limit is to control 16 projectiles at full power. So controlling the 12 strands of spiritual force to activate the mountain drill is quite easy. He can activate 12 golden engravings at once. However, to make the 12 golden engravings perfectly reach the tip at the same time is quite difficult. Luckily, Luo Feng's amplitude is 16, which far exceeds the requirement. Learning the first stage is a bit easier. If his amplitude was 12, a spirit reader who just reached the requirement would probably need a very long time to succeed. Time passed minute by minute as Luo Feng tried again and again. The originally dark sky gradually started to brighten up. The cold winter fog filled the air. In the wilderness and on the broken highway, there were shadows of monsters coming and going. When these monsters saw the mysterious man's silhouette, especially the ring of monster corpses around him, they didn't dare to approach anymore. The sky started to brighten. Gradually, the clouds in the east started to turn red. Finally, the sun slightly peeked out from the east. Break! Luo Feng's eyes were like lightning as he stared at the mountain drill in front of him. The complex engravings on the surface of the silver-gray mountain drill instantly activated 12 golden engravings. Like electric snakes, the 12 golden engravings instantly extended to the tip of the mountain drill. They all arrived at the same time. When the 12 golden engravings gathered together, it was as if lightning was striking the ground. The 12 golden engravings instantly rotated. Yenji, the mountain drill transformed into a golden light as it rotated and pierced through the air. Its speed instantly reached an unbelievable level. The mountain drill turned into a golden beam of light and pierced into the hill as if it was crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Rumble, instantly, smoke and dust filled the air. The mountain drill made a circle in the distance as it flew back. The smoke and dust from the hill in the distance dispersed. More than half of the hill had collapsed. Under the mountain drill's powerful piercing and tearing power, only half of the hill remained. Such fast speed, such powerful piercing power. Its speed is at least 50% faster than my normal attack. According to the instruction manual, the first stage of the mountain drill's power is around 3 times that of my normal attack, and a Star Traveler Level 2 stage is around 2 times that of a Star Traveler Level 1 stage. In other words, with the mountain drill, my attack power is stronger than a normal Star Traveler Level 2 stage. Luo Feng was extremely excited. This is the difference between an elite with a background and a fighter without a teacher. Almost all of the fighters and spirit readers on Earth don't have a teacher. All of them bury themselves in training and don't know anything. Even if they get a spirit weapon, they won't use it. As for Luo Feng, after becoming a member of the UNMO planet, he immediately obtained the basics of Instruction 312 forms, which greatly increased Luo Feng's amplitude. He also obtained the Soaring Sky, which greatly increased his attack power. With these 2 improvements, he, an elite student level 9 stage, can fight against a Star Traveler level 2 stage. This is the benefit of having a teacher and a background. Luo Feng spent 5 hours to successfully master the mountain drill's first layer and another 3 hours to master the bulky mountain shield's first layer. Since then, Luo Feng wouldn't be too far off from the elite disciples of the large powers in the universe. With the UNMO planet's inheritance, I'll just have to wait until I reach the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. The other representatives won't be a threat to me. The rapid increase in power made Luo Feng a bit excited. However, he was also a bit worried. He only obtained the UNMO planet's beginner's inheritance, and he became so strong all of a sudden. If the powerful races and countries in the universe really come, will Earth have the ability to resist? Let's not think about this anymore. Luo Feng immediately stepped on the soaring shuttle and swiftly returned to Yangzhou City. P.S. The first chapter has ended, there will be 3 chapters today. Sweat, the first chapter is a bit late. Chapter 199. December 27, 2058 afternoon. Large amounts of disc-shaped fighter jets and autojets were on the tarmac outside the Dojo of Limit's world headquarters. Each one of them was expensive. Luo Feng's Emperor-level autojet could only be considered average here, so it wasn't eye-catching at all. This is because over 30 representatives came here today. 1510. Over half of the representatives and a few war gods on Earth gathered in the court of the headquarters' gigantic spaceship. Luo Feng, let me introduce you. This is Representative Bygraves. Under the introduction of Luo Feng's good friend, Investigator Lu He, Luo Feng met with some of the famous and powerful figures on Earth. These representatives all gave face to this upcoming 6th investigator of the Dojo of Limit. This is Representative Zhu Shi, smiled Lu He. He's also Chinese. Hello, Representative Zhu Shi. Luo Feng extended his hand. Hello, Representative Luo Feng, the skinny man with a hook nose. Zhu Shi also shook Luo Feng's hand. This scene didn't seem any different from the others Luo Feng met before. However, Luo Feng sighed in his heart. Back when war god Lu Gang died, Representative Zhu Shi came to participate in the memorial service. The scene of so many important figures from the political, business, military, and fighter circles respectfully welcoming him gave Luo Feng, who was still in the Fire Hammer Squad, a huge shock. In the blink of an eye, he became a representative. Luo Feng looked. That white-haired guy who doesn't seem to be alive at all is Representative Yan Hai, whispered Lu Ha. Even though he's Chinese, he has an extremely good relationship with Li Yao. Now that you've killed Li Yao, you've formed a grudge with him. It'll be hard for him to form a good relationship with you. He's very powerful and has the right to challenge for the 5th chairman seat. However, don't worry, he won't dare to mess with our dojo of limits, said Lu Ha quietly. Of course, just don't mess with him for no reason. Luo Feng glanced and just laughed. Representative Yan Hai? Not just Yan Hai, even the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chairman won't be his match after he goes back and steps into the Star Traveler Level 1 stage. In the distance, Yan Hai looked at Luo Feng expressionlessly and snorted coldly. Yan Hai treated Li Yao as his own child because of the experience he had when he was adventuring in the Grand Nirvana period. That kind of experience had indeed created deep feelings for him. Unfortunately, his opponent was someone from the dojo of Limit. Although Yan Hai had a trace of resentment, he could only suppress it. That's Luo Feng? I've heard that he can control hidden weapons with a maximum impact force of 8 to 9 million kilograms. He is indeed comparable to some counselors. So what if he's comparable? After all, he hasn't made the breakthrough yet. In terms of ground movement speed, running speed, and various combat methods, he is not as nimble as us. If he really fights with the counselors, I'm afraid he won't be able to defeat any of them. Some counselors can control flames, some can control ice, and so on. It's impossible to guard against them. In terms of attacking methods, they are indeed more ingenious than him. In some corners of the courtroom, some representatives were whispering to each other. While they were whispering, they formed a barrier around them to prevent Luo Feng from hearing them. After all, these star travelers didn't want to have enmity with Luo Feng, they just felt disdain in their hearts. This disdain was actually born from jealousy. Jealousy of Luo Feng's potential. To be able to reach such a level of attack power at the peak of the War God level, when Luo Feng breaks through to the Star Traveler level, he will definitely become one of the best among them. So what if he has high potential? He's still a bit lacking when it comes to actually fighting with us. This was what many representatives thought. While chatting with the representatives, Luo Feng still felt that they were keeping a distance from him. Only the investigators from the Dojo of Limits were close to Luo Feng. The 1st chairman, the 2nd chairman are here. Hong and Thunder God. The representatives and some of the war gods in the gallery all quietened down. From the side door of the courtroom, a black-clothed man and a white-robed bald monk walked to the front of the gallery one after the other. The black-clothed man, Hong, seemed to swallow all the light around him, while the bald monk gave off a feeling that made people's hearts tremble. Hong, Star Traveler Level 6 Stage. Thunder God, Star Traveler Level 7 Stage. Luo Feng looked at the two. The black-clothed man, Hong, was cold and indifferent. The white-robed Thunder God had a warm smile, but it made people feel respect. These are the two powerful fighters of Earth. In terms of fitness level, Thunder God surpasses Hong. However, because Hong has his own domain, he completely crushes Thunder God. After Hong and Thunder God arrived, the courtroom quickly started. Luo Feng sat in the plaintiff's stand while Li Yao and Vanina stood in the defendant's stand with their hands cuffed and legs shackled. It's rare to see two advanced-level war gods on trial in history. At 16:20 p.m., the courtroom made their verdict. Li Yao, Vanina Paulinus, instigating others to murder the family of a representative, convicted, sentenced to death, immediate execution. The faces of Li Yao and Vanina in the defendant's stand slightly changed. Actually, they were already prepared for this long before the trial. Luo Feng. Li Yao and Vanina stared at Luo Feng in the plaintiff's stand. Luo Feng only coldly glanced at the two of them. The vulture-scorpion couple actually dared to kill his family. He missed it once, so he definitely won't miss it a second time. He can't let this disaster continue. Letting these two live means that he doesn't care about his family's safety and is irresponsible to his family. Li Yao, hand over the black god set, two powerful representatives stood in front of Li Yao. Li Yao, who was in the defendant's stand, looked around the courtroom. There were over 30 powerful representatives in this courtroom, including the first chairman Hong and the second chairman Thunder God. Killing Li Yao would be as easy as flipping their hand. Even though Li Yao wasn't willing, he could only force the black god set out of his body and hand it over. "Escort the prisoner to the wilderness for execution," said the judge in the courtroom. The two representatives in charge of escorting the prisoner to the execution were respectively Representative Lu He from the Dojo of Limits and Representative Amuhan from the Thunder Dojo. Under Luo Feng's request, he was able to go with them. In a universe-level autojet, Li Yao and Vanina were handcuffed and shackled under the supervision of the three representatives, Luo Feng, Lu He, and Amuhan. Luo Feng, Vanina stared at Luo Feng. Vanina stared at Luo Feng. Her Chinese wasn't perfect as she clenched her teeth and said, "If you had the ability, you would have killed us in the headquarters city yesterday. Who would have thought that you would be so despicable as to use the Palace of War God's court to judge us? You shameless bastard, even if I die I won't." "Shut up," yelled Lu He, who was sitting in front of her. "I'm about to die, why would I be scared of you?" laughed Vanina coldly. As a European, even though Vanina knows Chinese, she clearly isn't good at cursing in Chinese. Luo Feng just looked at her coldly and completely ignored Vanina's words. She's just a pitiful worm about to die. Vulture Li Yao, however, stared at Luo Feng without saying a word. "Even though you chased after me in the continent of Australia, I didn't bother you and let you live peacefully in Paris headquarters city." Luo Feng looked coldly at Li Yao. "But I didn't think that you would immediately make a move against my family as soon as news of my death got out." "Li Yao, oh Li Yao, if I don't kill you, I won't be a son." Li Yao was silent as he stared at Luo Feng. "Ah Wei, I couldn't avenge you. I was useless. It's over, it's all over, Luo Feng. If there's a ghost after you die, I won't let you go." Even though Li Yao didn't say a single word, he kept roaring in his heart. However, no matter how much hatred he had, when he, Li Yao, was killed, everything became nothing. "I can't accept this, I can't accept this. I can't accept dying like this, I can't accept this." Li Yao roared in his heart as he clenched his teeth so hard that blood started to seep out. The universe-level autojet slowly descended. "Go down." Li Yao and Vanina walked down step by step in a daze. Because they were shackled, they could only walk step by step. In this wasteland, Li Yao and Vanina both stood there. "Lu He," said Representative Amuhan on the side. "You kill Li Yao, I'll kill Vanina." "No problem," smiled Lu He as he replied. Amuhan walked towards Vanina step by step. Vanina's face was delicate, and she was indeed a beauty. However, this beautiful woman's eyes were filled with hatred and even tears. When Representative Amuhan got close, the scimitar at his waist was instantly unsheathed. As if a beam of light flashed past, Vanina, who wanted to dodge, stopped moving. Voila! The head directly rolled off and the headless corpse fell to the ground. Vanina, Li Yao stared at Vanina's corpse and couldn't help but to close his eyes in pain. "If you die, everything becomes nothing. No matter how vicious I am, it's useless. I can't accept this, I really can't accept this. However, if you die, everything becomes nothing." Li Yao, who had his eyes closed, was filled with emotions. He was either angry, unwilling, or disappointed. Actually, death itself isn't that scary, but waiting for death like this is the most torturous. Li Yao's body couldn't help but to slightly tremble from the emotions he never felt before. Li Yao, Vanina. Vulture-scorpion couple. Luo Feng glanced at Vanina's corpse and then looked towards Li Yao. "Let's end this." "Luo Feng, how about you kill her?" Lu He looked towards Luo Feng. "Go ahead," said Luo Feng. Lu He smiled and walked towards Li Yao. Li Yao's entire body was trembling slightly. His eyes were closed, and there seemed to be tears at the corners of his eyes. Li Yao, die. Lu He said with a smile. Qi, the surrounding light suddenly distorted. Li Yao, who had been standing there motionless, suddenly retreated over 100 meters. Af! Luo Feng? Li Yao fiercely rushed into the sky. I will definitely kill you, definitely! Trying to escape? Luo Feng let out a ferocious roar. He stepped on the soaring shuttle and swiftly soared into the sky. P.S. Chapter 2 ends here. Chapter 200. Chase. Lu He and Amuhan didn't hesitate at all and immediately rushed into the sky. Star Traveler level fighters can fly. This is one of the biggest special abilities of the student level to the Star Traveler level. However, they can't use their legs to fly in the sky, so their flying speed is far slower than their running speed on the ground. So fast! Luo Feng's also very fast. Lu He and Amuhan watched as Li Yao and Luo Feng, one in front and one behind, swiftly flew into the sky and disappeared from their line of sight. This Li Yao's special ability should be light. Lu He frowned. Like the Hall Master, he possesses the special ability of light. His flying speed is much faster than ours. We won't be able to catch up. In the universe, the reason why Star Traveler level fighters are called true fighters is because only after reaching the Star Traveler level fighters have their own special abilities. Contact the head, ordered Lu He through his tactical communications watch. Contact the head. Amuhan also wanted to contact Thunder God. The call quickly connected. Head, that Li Yao broke through to the representative level at the crucial moment of the execution, and his special ability should be light, which is extremely fast. He just rushed into the sky and Luo Feng already chased after him. Amuhan and I couldn't catch up, immediately reported Lu He. Amuhan also reported. After reporting, let's go, we'll chase in an autojet. Only then did Lu He let the universe-level autojet fly over. Actually, Lu He and the others were very clear that an autojet is useless. The autojet's flying speed far surpasses a representative. However, after the autojet catches up, Lu He and Amuhan will have to fly out of the autojet to chase after Li Yao if they want to kill him. But since their speed isn't as fast as Li Yao, there's no point in chasing. Dojo of Limits World Headquarters, Banquet Hall. Of course, the Dojo of Limits couldn't just let all the representatives run back and forth like this, so they held a banquet in the banquet hall. For the representatives, the death of 2 war gods is just a small matter. The only person who really cares about this is Yan Hai. What? In the banquet hall, the black-clothed man, Hong's face slightly changed. He broke through. The bald monk, Thunder God, was also shocked when he received the notification. The entire banquet hall instantly quieted down. The man in black, Hong, ordered, "Allure Vladimir." Here. The personal guard, Yao Rao, stepped forward. Here. A black man stepped forward. You two take my prehistoric level autojet and immediately help Luo Feng kill Li Yao. Ordered the black-clothed man, Hong. Li Yao has already broken through and reached the representative level. His special ability was light. The two of you set off quickly. Yes. Allure and Inspector Vladimir quickly left the banquet hall and took the prehistoric autojet to the wilderness. The entire banquet hall was in an uproar. Li Yao has made a breakthrough? Breaking through before death. This Li Yao is quite formidable. Not to mention, his special ability is light. The counselors discussed in low voices. Yan Hai, who was sitting in the corner, had a rare hint of joy on his old face. He thought to himself, "Little vulture, you must seize the opportunity to escape this time." The first chairman has ordered Vladimir and Roland to support Luo Feng? Could Luo Feng be chasing after Li Yao? This Li Yao's special ability is light. His flying speed is faster than most representative. Luo Feng actually dares to chase? This Luo Feng overestimates himself. His attack power is comparable to an ordinary counselor, but that Li Yao's current attack power is not weaker than his. And with his special light, his agility is shocking. Luo Feng is in deep trouble this time. The counselors felt sorry for Li Yao. If Li Yao had made a breakthrough before the trial, he would not have been sentenced to death. It was too late to break through now. Some thought that Luo Feng was overestimating himself. Isn't it just 16 weapons with a force of over 8 million kilograms? He actually dares to chase after a representative. Brother Hong, Luo Feng is too daring. The bald monk Thunder God smiled and said, I was a little rash. The black-clothed man, Hong, frowned. The current him is not Li Yao's opponent. His eyes have been blinded by hatred. Sigh, he still needs to be properly trained. After all, he is still too young. This punk Luo Feng is a good seedling. If we nurture him well, he'll have a bright future. In the future, when we meet with some important matters, he may become our helper. Thunder God smiled. The black-clothed man Hong slightly nodded. His potential is very high. In another 10 or 20 years, he might become the third chairman. The prerequisite is that he has perseverance. In the eyes of the two strongest fighters on Earth, Luo Feng has a lot of potential. However, it's not enough yet. This time, he was too rash. The black-clothed man, Hong, slightly shook his head. Clearly, he was very disappointed in Luo Feng's mission. High up in the sky, stratosphere. This is an existence surpassing the war god level. This is the strength of a representative? Li Yao, who was rapidly flying in the sky, couldn't help but to laugh out loud. His laughter was like a crazed shockwave that spread out. The light around him was slightly distorted. Sometimes his body was blurry and sometimes it was strange. His tattered clothes were torn apart by the wind, revealing his powerful body. What a powerful force! My agility and explosiveness are much stronger than before. Li Yao waved his fist and the air exploded. With my transformed genetic energy as a buffer, it's clearly much easier for my fist to explode. No wonder all the powerful representative fighters are so powerful. And behind, whoosh! A flowing light swiftly chased after him. Li Yao. An enraged roar. Luo Feng. Li Yao glanced at Luo Feng from the corner of his eye and couldn't help but to flash with an ominous glint. He actually floated in midair and stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, also stopped and hovered in front of Li Yao. It's all because of you. Because of you, my son died. Because of you, my wife also died. Today, I'll let you know the strength of an existence surpassing the war god level. Under Li Yao's tattered clothes, the muscles on his body were like sculptures. The lines were perfect. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle and wearing a helmet and the black god set, was extremely cold. An existence surpassing the war god level? Just a Star Traveler level 1 stage. Li Yao, you're destined to die by my hands. Luo Feng silently looked at Li Yao. Arrogant! Li Yao roared. At this time, the universe-level autojet that Lu He and Amuhan were on was already hovering in the distance. However, because Lu He and Amuhan's speed wasn't as fast as Li Yao's, they didn't rush out. Even if they rushed out, they wouldn't be able to touch Li Yao's clothes. They were only responsible for chasing. As long as they don't lose him, the people Hong sends will be able to easily kill Vulture Li Yao. Luo Feng, hurry and get on the jet, Lu He's voice carried over. Luo Feng and Li Yao, however, stared at each other in midair. Luo Feng, you're too young and too arrogant. Today, you'll die because of your arrogance. Li Yao laughed coldly. After that, he slightly extended his left and right hand. A light slowly appeared on Li Yao's left and right hands, as if they were two blades, and his hands became a bit blurry. Luo Feng's soaring shuttle was already hovering in front of him. Black steps extended from his feet as he hovered in midair. He silently watched as Li Yao prepared his ultimate move. Even though the Black God set is powerful, your body is only at the advanced level War God level. Li Yao let out a creepy smile and actually closed his eyes. Li Yao revealed a trace of a strange smile. He actually closed his eyes. Gradually, his entire body began to emit traces of light. It was as if his entire body was enveloped in a layer of golden light. This scene shocked Lu He and Emuhan on the autojet. He's going all out right from the start? Lu He was shocked. This Li Yao indeed has a grudge against Luo Feng. He'd rather heavily injure Luo Feng than kill Luo Feng. As Star Traveler level fighters, Lu He and Emuhan were very clear on what Li Yao was doing. Li Yao, whose entire body was bathed in the golden light, suddenly moved. Whoosh! Like a rainbow, he shot towards Luo Feng. Li Yao, Luo Feng hovered in midair and slightly waved his hand. Whoosh! The soaring shuttle instantly transformed into a mountain drill. Under the activation of 12 powerful spiritual force infused into the engravings, 12 golden engravings immediately appeared and swiftly darted towards the tip of the mountain drill, forming an unbelievable penetrating force. The mountain drill seemed to have the force of 1 trillion tons of gunpowder exploding. Yenji, the soaring shuttle, as if it was piercing through space, transformed into a golden light, and its speed reached an unbelievable level. Even a Star Traveler Level 9 stage might not be faster than this soaring shuttle in its mountain drill form. What? Li Yao's mind was only filled with shock. He didn't have time to think about anything else. Boom! Under the absolute speed, Li Yao had no time to think or dodge. Just as he was about to unleash his ultimate move, a huge hole was drilled in his chest by the mountain drilling all. The rotating tearing force of the mountain drilling all even tore Li Yao's corpse into pieces in an instant. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Hua! The mountain drill instantly transformed into the soaring shuttle and flew back to Luo Feng's feet. Li Yao dead. Right when he broke through to become an existence surpassing the War God level and was about to take revenge, he was killed by Luo Feng. He died just like that. The soaring shuttle is divided into 3 main forms. The first form of the soaring shuttle can transform into the mountain drill and the mountain shield. And the second form of the soaring shuttle can only be trained when its battle amplifier reaches 30. As for the third form of the soaring shuttle, it can only be trained when its battle amplifier reaches the universe level, its battle amplifier reaches 48, and it has its own domain. Maybe the second form of the soaring shuttle is even more ridiculous. However, the first form is the mountain drill and mountain shield. Just the power of the first level is enough to satisfy Luo Feng. Holy! Lu He, who wasn't far away, froze. Great Lord Brahma, Emuhan was also shocked. A counselor-level powerhouse was actually killed by a ray of golden light. Luo Feng's movements were too fast just now. He instantly transformed the soaring shuttle to attack. Even Lu He and Emuhan didn't see clearly what that golden light Luo Feng shot out was. They only saw Li Yao's seemingly powerful attack, before it even reached Luo Feng, was blown to smithereens. Head, Lu He hurriedly picked up. Head, Emuhan did the same. Both sides picked up. Lu He, is Luo Feng all right? Hurry and get him on the fighter jet. Let him calm down and don't be rash. As soon as the call connected, Hong immediately ordered. Head, Li Yao was killed by Luo Feng. Lu He gulped as he said. P.S. 3 chapters completed. I took a nap tonight, so I updated a bit late. The second chapter is past 11 p.m. Sweat, 3 chapters today, 3 chapters tomorrow. Everyone let Tomato go, he shouted one last time. October was coming to an end. Tomato called out to everyone's monthly vote. It was a crucial time to fight for the monthly votes. Chapter 201. The head Hong on the other side of the tactical communications watch went silent for a moment before he couldn't help but ask, "You said Li Yao was killed by Luo Feng?" Yes, dojo master. Lu He was also very confused. Even though Luo Feng can control 16 hidden weapons, no matter how powerful he is, a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level war god level that can rival a representative level fighter is one thing. You want to kill me? Dream on. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Lu He wouldn't have believed it either. Head, I'm sure I saw it. Luo Feng controlled the soaring shuttle to instantly turn into a golden light and shot towards Li Yao, said Lu He. Soaring shuttle? Golden light? On the other side of the tactical communications watch, Hong went silent for a bit and then ordered, Lu He, immediately bring Luo Feng back to headquarters. Yes. Lu He replied. Also, your autojet should have recorded the battle scene, right? Send me a copy, Hong ordered. Yes, Lu He answered. Next to Lu He, the investigator of the Thunder Dojo, Amuhan, had just finished reporting to Thunder God. Lu He and Amuhan exchanged glances and turned their heads towards Luo Feng, who was in midair. The hatch was already open. Li Yao has been killed by me. Luo Feng gazed at the endless sky, his heart filled with complex emotions. Ever since he finished the first stage of the soaring shuttle's first form, Luo Feng didn't care about regular Star Traveler Level 1 stage fighters. Even though that Li Yao broke through, Li Yao, who doesn't even have a black god set, Luo Feng has full confidence in killing him. But at the moment when he was about to kill, Luo Feng's emotions were complicated. Li Yao had been holding a grudge against him for a long time. When he was still a fledgling martial artist, Li Yao was like a mountain in front of him, causing him to feel panic. Step by step, as he grew stronger, the threat of Li Yao gradually decreased. And this time, because of what happened to his parents, he had to kill Li Yao out of anger. Only then did it die. Luo Feng, what are you thinking about? Haha, do you feel a sense of accomplishment after killing Li Yao in one go? Lu He shouted from the hatch of the autojet in the distance. Coming. Luo Feng smiled and stepped on the soaring shuttle and flew over. After entering the cabin door closed. Return to the headquarters, Lu He ordered. The autojet immediately turned around and flew away. In the cabin, Luo Feng could feel that Lu He and Amuhan were looking at him differently. He couldn't help but to laugh. Lu He, why are you guys looking at me like that? Impressive, impressive. You can actually kill a representative level fighter. Lu He stared at Luo Feng. I admire you. Amuhan spoke in awkward Chinese and even gave him a thumbs up. It's nothing. It's just that Li Yao doesn't have a black god set. If he did, it would be very difficult for me to kill him. Luo Feng slightly smiled. Lu He and Amuhan were both shocked. How many existences surpassing the war god level are there on Earth? None of the other counselors on Earth had any record of killing a counselor. After killing a representative, Luo Feng was actually this calm? Of course, Lu He and Amuhan were shocked by Luo Feng's mentality. Kill a Star Traveler Level 1 stage? Luo Feng shook his head. On Earth, this was an incredible achievement. However, after experiencing archaeological ruin number 9, Luo Feng was very clear that a Star Traveler level fighter can only be considered to be at the level of barely making ends meet in the vast universe. Killing a Star Traveler Level 1 stage isn't something to be proud of after receiving Yun Mo Planet's inheritance. After a while, the universe-level autojet slowly landed on the tarmac. Luo Feng, Lu He, and Amuhan, the three representatives, entered the gigantic spaceship-like structure. The other representatives are all in the banquet hall, smiled Lu He. Let's go this way. Under Lu He's lead, Luo Feng and the other two quickly arrived at the banquet hall. The banquet hall's door was completely dark red. There were two attendants standing on both sides of the door that was 3.6 meters tall with exquisite engravings. The two attendants slightly bowed. Representatives, please enter. As they said that, they pushed open the heavy door. The door slowly opened and the sounds of discussion immediately spread out. Luo Feng, Lu He, and Amuhan directly walked in. Especially when Luo Feng, who was wearing a black casual outfit, walked into the banquet hall. All the existences surpassing the war god level in the banquet hall whoosh. Everyone turned their heads and their gazes landed on Luo Feng. Luo Feng was slightly shocked. Over 30 star traveler level fighters were staring at him? Luo Feng, Vladimir, Wang Yu, and the other investigators from the Dojo of Limits all smiled as they greeted him. As for the other representatives, they were all discussing in low voices. However, most of them formed a barrier around them so that their voices wouldn't spread. Clearly, the things they were discussing weren't suitable to be made public. That Luo Feng has to step on his weapon to fly, so he clearly hasn't broken through yet. He's still at the peak of the War God level. He's a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced level War God level, yet he killed Li Yao with just one golden light. Luo Feng must have obtained an extremely powerful special weapon, the representatives and their friends discussed in low voices. Li Yao's breakthrough before shocked everyone, so many representatives paid attention to this matter. After that came news of Li Yao being killed by Luo Feng. Of course, many representatives wanted to know how Li Yao was killed. With over 30 representatives paying attention to this matter, Hong and Thunder God couldn't hide it from them. So, they played the video of Luo Feng killing Li Yao. Hong and Thunder God didn't slow down the video. Instead, they played it at a normal speed. All the representatives could see was that the special weapon hovering in front of Luo Feng instantly turned into a golden light and shot out, blasting Li Yao into pieces. Luo Feng's weapon is too powerful. Didn't he stay in archaeological ruin number 9 for a year and 3 months? He must have gained something. That weapon was probably obtained from an ancient civilization ruin. He's only at the peak of the war god level, yet he's able to unleash such power with this weapon. If a powerful fighter that truly breaks through to the representative level uses this weapon, it'll definitely be even more powerful. Everyone covets good things. It would be strange if a kid didn't get his gold ingot stolen when he was carrying it on the street. One theory. Most of these representatives coveted that special weapon that can turn into a golden light. However, Luo Feng isn't a kid. He's a powerful fighter that can kill a representative. So these representatives held themselves back. However, they were still quite confident because they were different from Li Yao. When Li Yao was executed, he didn't have a black god set. And all the other representatives had black god sets. With a black god set, their defensive capabilities instantly increased by more than 10 times. Luo Feng and the other 4 investigators were together. "Why do I feel like quite a few representatives are looking at me strangely?" said Luo Feng quietly. "Who told you to be so famous?" said investigator Wang on the side. "You're just a spirit reader at the peak of the war god level, yet you can use a weapon to kill a true representative level fighter. Clearly, this weapon is very powerful. Say, how many of these representatives aren't jealous? They just hold themselves back a bit. However, most of them will make a move if they have the chance," Luo Feng laughed. "A group of representatives? He really doesn't care about them. On Earth, there are only 2 people that he can truly strive to surpass, Hong and Thunder God. As for the others, they really aren't much. When he goes back this time, he'll undergo the 99 spirit forging and directly become a Star Traveler level 1 stage spirit reader. When that time comes, even if a group of representatives tries to mess with him, they'll just be sending themselves to death. However, he believes that these representatives won't have the guts to do so." Rumble, the banquet hall's door opened again. Everyone turned their heads to look. The black-clothed man Hong and the bald monk Thunder God walked in one after another. All the representatives quieted down and didn't dare to speak. Everyone, the black-clothed man Hong's cold gaze swept across everyone present. The formless pressure made everyone's hearts tremble. They couldn't resist at all. "I heard your discussion just now loud and clear. I can't believe that after just 10 years, some people have already forgotten about the Arhan incident from back then," A bunch of trash. Thunder God also laughed coldly on the side. Many representatives' faces went pale. The Arhan incident was when Hong killed a powerful representative, Arhan, in a fit of rage. Not just Hong. On Earth, Hong and Thunder God were the ones who had killed councilman powerhouses. Of course, Luo Feng is included today. However, what's different from Luo Feng is that Hong and Thunder God both killed representatives wearing black god sets. Thunder God and I created the Palace of War Gods and gathered everyone together in hopes that the elites of humanity can work hard for humanity's survival. Unite. You must all remember these 2 words. Otherwise, the battle for survival between humanity and the monsters might very well end with the extinction of humanity, said the black-clothed man, Hong coldly. There are many times more sea monsters than us humans. The black-clothed man, Hong said coldly. The number of sea monsters is many times that of us humans. There are also many more Emperor-level monsters than us, and there are even 2 Emperor-level monsters. Luo Feng, who was in the banquet hall, was shocked when he heard this. Emperor-level monsters? 2? However, the other representatives weren't shocked at all. Clearly, they all knew this. Unity is number 1. I don't want to see things like Arhan and Li Nanxing happen again. If they do, Thunder God and I don't mind getting rid of them. These people are just the black sheep of the herd. The black-clothed man, Hong's voice was cold. None of the representatives dared to make a sound. As for Luo Feng's incident, Luo Feng's weapon is called the soaring shuttle. The representatives' ears perked up. I gave it to Luo Feng, the black-clothed man, Hong said coldly. Of course, 1 is because Luo Feng's talent is good enough. 2 is because Luo Feng gave me all of the spirits of nature he obtained on the Misty Island back then. That's why I gave him the soaring shuttle. I'm a very fair person. If you want something, you have to give something. The black-clothed man Hong looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng, come with me. The others can continue the banquet. After saying that, the black-clothed man, Hong, turned around and headed outside. The bald monk, Thunder God, also followed on the side. After Luo Feng heard the order, he also followed and walked out of the banquet hall. Rumble, the banquet hall's door closed once again. Only then did all the representatives let out a sigh of relief. They all looked at each other with lingering fear. Hong and Thunder God haven't been angry in front of the representatives for a very, very long time. Humans are very forgetful creatures. A dozen years is enough for them to forget Hong and Thunder God's ruthlessness. That scene just now everyone felt. In front of Hong, their lives were no longer theirs. This feeling made everyone terrified. Not a single person dared to have any evil thoughts. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 202. Today's second chapter. Luo Feng calmly followed behind the black-clothed man, Hong, and the white-robed monk, Thunder God. These 2 are the strongest fighters on Earth. Luo Feng looked at the backs of these 2 and set them as his goals to surpass. To be able to reach the Star Traveler Level 7 stage in a few short decades, while the other is only a Star Traveler Level 6 stage but is called Invincible in the Star Traveler level, this training speed far surpasses everyone else on Earth. Hua! As they followed the path, the metal door opened. The 3 of them entered and the metal door closed. As they moved forward, they quickly arrived at the balcony. Hong and Thunder God both sat down. Hong glanced at Luo Feng. Sit, yes, head. Luo Feng sat on the side with his back straight. Kiddo Luo, how did you kill Li Yao with a soaring shuttle? Tell me in detail. Thunder God smiled and seemed to be very friendly. Back then, your head and I discovered this soaring shuttle and thought about it for a long time. Even though we know that this spirit weapon is very powerful, we never knew how to use it. Luo Feng was shocked. The bald crystal person said that Hong and Thunder God both received inheritances from other civilizations, so they clearly know how powerful the spirit weapon is. However, the soaring shuttle is one of UNMO planet's unique spirit weapons, so the method to use it is also top secret. Outsiders can't even use the soaring shuttle after obtaining it. What do I do? The secret of the soaring shuttle cannot be leaked. According to what's written, if I leak it to UNMO planet, I'll be punished with 60 years of hard labor. If I leak it to an outsider, I'll be killed. That bald crystal person monitors the entire Earth. If I leak it, he'll definitely know. Maybe he'll just release a laser and kill me. Luo Feng didn't dare to take any risk. Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Is there a problem? Hong looked at Luo Feng. I'm just thinking about how to say it. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. I'm sure the head can guess that there's an AI system controlling archaeological ruin number 9. Hong and Thunder God nodded. Many war gods on Earth have entered over and over again, so they easily realized that the archaeological ruins programming was very serious. They naturally guessed that there was an AI system controlling the archaeological ruin. As I said before, because of my high brain expanse, I received a special test in archaeological ruin number 9. It was a life and death crisis. In the process, I received some guidance from a spirit reader manipulator. Among them, I've learned 2 ways to use the soaring shuttle, one for offense and the other for defense. In the end, I spent 1 year and 3 months in there before I successfully completed the mission. He also obtained a secret cultivation method for a spirit reader manipulator. It's just that I've always felt that this archaeological ruin number 9 is like a teacher that's picking out his students, yet hiding a lot of knowledge. Luo Feng shook his head and sighed. Hong and Thunder God nodded slightly. It's normal. Hong smiled calmly. That archaeological ruin number 9 is one of the few ruins on Earth that are still in good condition. From what we know, it is a place to select disciples. However, it treats spirit readers more favorably. We can see it by looking at the death rate of spirit readers and fighters. Luo Feng was stunned. Yes, before entering, Hong said that some of the advanced level war god level spirit readers who entered archaeological ruin number 9 failed, but none of them died, and the death rate of war god level fighters is very high. Clearly, archaeological ruin number 9 favors spirit readers and isn't very fair in its selection. So, I'm guessing that the power behind archaeological ruin number 9 must value spirit readers, said Hong. Luo Feng cheered to himself. According to what he knows, the master of UNMO planet, Hu Yenbo, created many spirit weapons. Someone who can create spirit weapons. He's probably an unimaginable existence among spirit readers. Keep in mind that in order to use the 3rd form of this soaring shuttle, one has to be at least a universe-level spirit reader. To be able to create a weapon that even universe-level fighters have to work hard to master. This Hu Yenbo's power probably surpasses the universe level. Since the master of UNMO planet has great accomplishments as a spirit reader, it wouldn't be strange for him to specially select spirit readers as his disciple. This power values spirit readers, and archaeological ruin number 9 is just a test to enter. Why would they teach so many? Hong shook his head and then looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, there's only one spirit reader on Earth who has reached the representative level, and that's the 4th chairman, Eastbourne. However, his talent isn't as high as yours. And that guy's too ambitious. I don't like him. You can control 16 hidden weapons now, so you should be able to break through, right? Hong looked at Luo Feng. That Eastbourne can only control 14 hidden weapons at most, probably. Recently, I feel like I can break through at any time, replied Luo Feng. Okay, Hong and Thunder God slightly nodded. If there's anyone on Earth who understands the universe the most, it's Hong and Thunder God. Most of the many ruins on Earth were discovered by these 2 strongest fighters. Luo Feng doesn't know as much as Hong and Thunder God. The more they understand about the vast universe, the more Hong and Thunder God don't dare to relax. Keep working hard, encouraged Hong. Head, you guys were talking about the Emperor monster before? Luo Feng followed up. What's up with this Emperor monster? Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Hong emphasized. You haven't been in the circle of representatives for long, so this isn't really a big secret. Whether it's a human or a monster, after breaking through to the war god level or horde leader level, it doesn't mean that their strength stops growing. Among us human representatives, there are strong and weak ones too. Even me and Thunder God far surpass the others. Monsters are the same. There are strong and weak Emperor-level monsters, but normally the difference won't be too shocking, just a few times more. However, the area of the ocean is many times the size of the land. Countless monsters live there, and there are so many Emperor-level monsters. Naturally, there will be extremely terrifying monsters born. These two monsters, we call them the Emperor monster. Every one of them has shocking strength. Other than me and Thunder God, anyone else on Earth who meets them will die for sure, said Hong without hesitation. Luo Feng was shocked. There are such terrifying monsters? However, after thinking about it, one can understand that the higher one's position is, the more they know. For example, the spirits of nature, etc., normal fighters don't even know about them. Once the news of the Emperor monster spreads, it will only cause more unrest in human society. As long as the representatives know that there are monsters that can instantly kill them, they will work hard and not relax. Remember, the representative level is just the beginning, not the end, said Hong seriously. You cannot slack off, understood, nodded Luo Feng. Of course he understood. The so-called representative level is actually the Star Traveler level. He even knows that the Star Traveler level is split into 9 stages. He also knows that of the 2 heads, one is a Star Traveler level 6 stage, and the other is a Star Traveler level 7 stage. Okay, Hong slightly sighed. The Dojo of Limits appointment of the 6th investigator is going to be announced to the entire world. We have to choose an important date. I think January 1st, 5th, and 18th are all good dates. Pick 1 inch, take over as investigator? Luo Feng thought for a bit and smiled. January 1st is New Year's Day. I don't think it's a good time, so let's do January 5 to. Okay, nodded Hong. Alright, go to the banquet. Yes, Luo Feng responded and immediately left. Only Hong and Thunder God were left on the terrace. Brother Hong, I feel like this punk is hiding something, smiled Thunder God as he looked at Hong. Everyone has secrets. Some secrets they won't even tell their family. Is there a need to force him? Said Hong seriously. What I've always been worried about is that Earth will one day be discovered by some country or power in the universe. When that time comes, whether Earth's humans will perish, be enslaved, sold off as slaves, or survive. It's hard to say, so we have to enter the star level as soon as possible. That way we'll have the power to protect Earth. Okay, Thunder God slightly nodded. The 2 pinnacle existences of Earth were worried about the fate of Earth's humans. They were very clear on how tiny Earth is in the vast universe, and Earth's humans are just the natives of this planet. Pung, pung, pung. The sound of knocking rang. Come in, said Hong. The door automatically opened. Allure walked up to the terrace and said respectfully, Head, I just received news that something special happened on the Misty Island. Head will know after watching the video. Misty Island? Thunder God was shocked. Brother Hong, isn't that where you got the cloud contact vine? Play it, ordered Hong. Minghua District. At night, Luo Feng's family was eating dinner. Dad, Mom, I'm going out to do something tonight. It'll take about 5 to 6 days. Luo Feng picked up his bowl and picked up a piece of scrambled egg. 5 or 6 days? At the dining table, Father Luo Honggua, Mother Gong Xianlan, and Brother Luo Hua were all shocked. You've only been back for 2 days, why did you go out again? Gong Xianlan couldn't help but ask. There's no danger, right? The child is going out. It's something important. Don't interrupt, Luo Honggua said in a low voice. I'm worried about little Feng. What are you shouting for? Gong Xianlan immediately shouted. All right, Dad, Mom, Luo Feng said. This time I'm going out without any danger. I'm just doing something important. I'll be back in 5 to 6 days. Only then did the family relax a little. After all, Luo Feng had indeed disappeared for a year and 3 months. Late at night, Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle and silently left his home. After that, he silently entered the Emperor-level autojet in the night. Inside the autojet, the seat was as flat as the floor. Luo Feng sat cross-legged. "Don't worry, good boy, I'll call you when the time comes." Luo Feng ended his call with Su Xian. "Number 1, don't let anyone disturb me until I come out," commanded Luo Feng. "Everything is ready." He told his family and Su Xian that the investigator appointment is on January 5th. There's still 8 to 9 days left, which is enough for him to break through to the Star Traveler level. 81 Spirit Forging. Luo Feng took in a deep breath and closed his eyes. In his mind, he swiftly recalled the 81 steps of the 81 Spirit Forging. "No problem, then. Let's begin." Luo Feng's breathing gradually calmed down and his heartbeat slowed down. And in his boundless realm of consciousness, the originally calm spiritual force that was like a galaxy suddenly started to surge. Rumble, the surging spiritual force suddenly started to spin and started to speed up, speed up. P.S. Chapter 2 has arrived. Continue to write Chapter 3, monthly votes, monthly votes. I'm going to break my moonlit chrysanthemum. Chapter 203. Luo Feng began his 99 spirit forging, and the representatives who received Hong's warning were all very obedient. Countless citizens of China were also preparing for the upcoming New Year's. The entire Earth was very peaceful. 12/30/2058, 21:36 p.m. Earth, Pacific Ocean, deep in the sea a few hundred kilometers away from the Hawaiian archipelago. Cold, dark. In this area at the bottom of the sea, an oval-shaped black egg with a diameter of around 12 meters had been here for over a year. It was covered in mud and weeds, making it very inconspicuous. Many monsters in the surrounding area of the sea discovered this mysterious egg over a year ago, but none of them were able to bite through the eggshell. Gradually, fewer and fewer monsters came to pay attention to this mysterious giant egg. Crack, 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 the mysterious black egg slightly shook, and some of the weeds and mud that fell on the egg also slid off. Actually, over a month ago, this egg would occasionally shake, and the frequency gradually increased. Yesterday, the mysterious giant egg trembled more than 10 times. Crack, 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 the mysterious black egg shook again, and some of the weeds and mud slid off again. As they slid off, the strange golden markings on the surface of the black egg were gradually revealed. One. The black egg actually started to shake violently, and the shaking became stronger and stronger. With a clear sound, a crack appeared on the surface of the black egg, followed by pa, pa, pa. After a few heavy sounds, the cracks on the black egg directly broke open, and a black unknown object, covered in mucus, came out of the eggshell. Kuchi, kuchi. This unknown object covered in mucus actually started to eat the eggshell, as if it had been starving for who knows how many years. It was crazily eating. In just a few minutes, about a third of the black oval-shaped egg with a diameter of 12 meters was eaten, and the black unknown object was completely revealed. This was a reptilian unknown creature that was completely black, and its body was covered in black scales. Its huge black body also had a pair of wings covered in scales, and a tail that was slowly swaying like a dragon's tail. On its raised head was a single horn that pierced towards the sky. However, its entire body was covered in mucus, making it impossible to see its true appearance. As it ate the black eggshells, the black monster's body grew larger and larger. From 12 meters long, it gradually grew longer. When it finished eating all the eggshells, it was already 16 meters long. Now that the mucus had been completely absorbed, the black monster's body became clear. Woo! A shrill, joyful sound came from its throat. This was a 16-meter-long beast that had never been seen before on Earth. The black scales on its body were like sharp blades that sent chills down one's spine. Its body had an inexplicable pressure that made people feel suffocated. Whether it was its ferocious wings covered in scales, or its strong limbs, tail, or horn, they were all ice-cold black. To be precise, the sharp black horn had mysterious golden markings on it, but they were very inconspicuous. One would only notice them if they looked closely. The mysterious golden stripes spread along the horn, head, neck, and scales on its back, as if a layer of golden striped armor had fused into its back. The dense golden stripes even spread from its back to its wings, and then to its claws. After eating the black eggshells, the mysterious monster sat on the seabed and looked around. The ancient memories contained in its bloodline gradually surged into its mind. The mysterious monster's dark golden pupils suddenly lit up, turning into a dazzling gold. The mysterious golden stripes on its horn, neck, and scales on its back also lit up slightly, and a trace of gold that could be seen with the naked eye appeared. The surrounding water flow suddenly stagnated, and the rocks on the seabed beneath the mysterious monster trembled slightly. Waves of energy surged into its body. However, it only took a moment before it stopped absorbing energy. Whoa! The mysterious monster stood up angrily and kept looking around, as if it was thinking about something. In the end, it could only let out an unwilling growl, and then slightly swung its tail. With a whoosh, it broke through the water and moved forward. It was as if it did not need oxygen and could naturally walk on the seabed like it was on flat ground. Suddenly, a group of fish monsters appeared in front of it. They had crisscross teeth and their eyes were red. Each of them was more than 5 meters long, and the strange thing was that there were 2 sharp claws with 3 toes under their abdomens. Screech, a sharp sound followed. This large group of fish monsters quickly surrounded the mysterious monster. They had completely treated this monster that they had never seen before as food. There were too many types of monsters in the sea. Even the monsters that lived in the seabed all year round would often encounter monsters that they had never encountered before. Normally, they would judge their strength by their size. Sea monsters were generally larger than land monsters. King-class sea monsters were usually more than 100 meters long. Lord-class sea monsters were usually more than 20 meters long. This mysterious monster in front of them was only about 16 meters long. It was probably not even a Lord-class monster. This group of fish monsters was naturally not afraid. If they worked together, they could even kill a Lord-class monster. Screech! With a command. The fish monsters rushed out and at the same time, shio, shio, shio. Rays of red light shot out from the eyes of this group of fish monsters. The red light shot out by the densely packed fish monsters instantly formed a net, covering the entire mysterious monster. The mysterious monster's pair of cold eyes stared at the fish monsters that covered the sky and covered the earth. Woo! A low growl. Whoosh! The mysterious monster's wings, which were covered with blade-like scales, suddenly spread open. When it spread its wings, it was at least 20 meters wide. It moved. The mysterious monster instantly turned into a blurry golden afterimage. The afterimage instantly covered an area of 300 meters. The entire area within 300 meters instantly became an absolute dead zone. All the fish monsters instantly died. Even some other sea monsters were strangled to death. They were strangled to death by that pair of wings. Catchy, catchy. The mysterious monster grabbed the bodies of the 3 strongest sea monsters. The combined size of the bodies of the 3 monsters was even larger than its entire body. It easily ate them with its bloody mouth. In just 10 seconds it finished them all. Whoa! The mysterious monster let out a dissatisfied roar. It seemed that the 3 bodies made it very dissatisfied. Its body length was still about 16 meters. There was no change at all. Shio! With a flick of its tail, it continued forward. It didn't even stop when it encountered monsters below the Lord class. 2 Lord-class mountain-shaking whales appeared in front of it. With a low growl, it spread its wings again, From that night onwards, the surrounding sea began a bloody hunt. Its stomach was like a bottomless pit. It ate and ate. Along the way, it ate large amounts of terrifying sea monsters. Every single one of them was a Lord-class monster. If these large sea monsters were piled up, it could probably form a mountain. However, in less than a day, even though it had eaten so many monsters, its body length did not change much. To the surrounding sea region, this was simply a disaster. The death of large amounts of Lord-class monsters finally attracted the attention of the King of the Sea, a powerful Emperor-class monster, dragon turtle. To be able to occupy an area of thousands of miles in the center of the Pacific Ocean, this dragon turtle was extremely terrifying even among the Emperor-class monsters. Before the Grand Nirvana period, it had lived in a cave at the bottom of the sea for over 100 years. It was considered one of the oldest turtles. Roar, the enormous dragon turtle was like a mountain, quickly advancing under the sea. Just its shell alone was over 300 meters. If this dragon turtle floated out of the sea, it would be like an island in the middle of the sea. Unfortunately, because it was too big, it couldn't follow the rivers to enter the mainland. Otherwise, the dragon turtle, famous for its defense, would definitely be a huge headache for humans. It actually dared to kill so many of my subordinates in my territory. I must kill it, kill it! The dragon turtle roared in its heart. In terms of intelligence, some Emperor-class monsters were even more cunning than humans. So it's there. Under the leadership of the Lord-class monster, the enormous dragon turtle quickly advanced. Invading its territory, wantonly killing in its territory, it must kill the other party. If it didn't fight, then it would retreat from this territory, admit defeat, and let the other party occupy this territory. This was the rule of the sea monsters. Woo! Woo! The mysterious monster that had been born for almost a day was very unhappy. It had devoured a large number of water monsters in the sea that seemed to be of good quality. According to its inherited memories, monsters of that size should be quite strong. Eating them should be quite beneficial to it. However, it ate so much, but it didn't help much. It didn't even eat 1/10,000th of the eggshell. Woo! Dissatisfied and angry, the mysterious monster decided to lie down and rest. After all, it was just a baby that had been born for less than a day. Suddenly, the mysterious monster raised its head slightly and looked into the distance. Its cold eyes shone with a golden light, and its golden pupils seemed to be able to see very far away in the pitch-black depths of the sea. Woo! The mysterious monster quickly stood up and let out a low roar of excitement. With a flick of its tail, it charged forward like a bolt of lightning. At the bottom of the sea, a black monster with a body length of 16 meters and a gigantic creature with a shell diameter of 300 meters, the dragon turtle, finally met. The distance between them was only 100 meters. The dragon turtle's 3-story tall eyes stared at the tiny thing in front of it. 16 meters long? It was indeed the tiny thing. What kind is it? I've never seen it before. 4 sharp claws. Is it from land? It has wings. Is it a bird? The dragon turtle was very intelligent, but no matter how it looked at it, it couldn't recognize the tiny thing in front of it. What kind of monster was it? Seeing how it could move freely in the sea, it was obviously very good at underwater. It looked like a land monster, but it had wings and lived in the water. What the hell? Woo! The mysterious monster excitedly growled. A pair of wings covered in scales suddenly spread open. Whoosh! In an instant, the mysterious monster transformed into an afterimage. Facing this scene, the dragon turtle leisurely stared at the little thing. It was famous for its defense. Even other king-tier monsters would not be able to injure it easily. Chi, the huge dragon turtle, which was like an island at the bottom of the sea, suddenly trembled. The mysterious monster's sharp wings swept past its shell and actually cracked it. Fortunately, the shell was very thick, so it was fine. This tiny thing, The dragon turtle looked at the mysterious monster floating in the sea in disbelief. Woo! The mysterious monster seemed to be very happy and let out 2 cries. Whoosh! This time, the mysterious monster didn't spread its wings. Instead, it turned into a straight line and almost teleported to the front of the dragon turtle's huge head. Then, the mysterious monster stretched out its 2 front limbs. Each of its 4 limbs had 5 toes. At this moment, whoosh, 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 the toes, which were usually tucked away, stretched out like sharp blades. Hoo! A claw slashed across the dragon turtle's head. The hard and scale-covered dragon turtle's head was directly torn apart by the sharp claws. Brain matter splattered out. Too fast. The dragon turtle only had a trace of fear before it died. Fast. So fast that even the king-tier dragon turtle couldn't dodge. Strong attack. Strong enough to kill the king-tier dragon turtle with a single claw. Woo! The mysterious monster excitedly started to swallow the entire dragon turtle. The dragon turtle, which was the size of an island at the bottom of the sea, was much easier for the mysterious monster to eat than eating eggshells. In just a few minutes, the huge dragon turtle was completely devoured. The king-tier monsters in the surroundings were so scared that they fled in all directions. It couldn't be helped. This mysterious monster was infamous. Woo! After eating, the mysterious monster laid down contentedly and closed its eyes. Finally, it was a little full. At this moment, its body length finally increased by about 0.1 meters. P.S. 3 chapters completed. Finally born, Devouring Starry Sky turns over a new page, brothers, the last day of October. The last day. Tomato shouted for monthly votes. Chapter 204. The birth of the mysterious monster caused a bloodbath in the Pacific Ocean. The humans on Earth didn't notice at all, and Luo Feng was still concentrating on his 81 spirit forging in his Emperor-level autojet. Time passed. January 1, 2059. Mingyue Sector, Luo Feng's home. I'm sorry, Mr. Wang, but my brother isn't home, Luo Hua smiled as he spoke to a bespectacled middle-aged man in the living room. Today is New Year's, Representative Luo isn't home? The middle-aged man was a bit shocked. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Luo Hua nodded. I still have things to do at home, so I won't keep Mr. Wang. Next time, I'll personally take care of Mr. Wang. All right, then I'll be leaving first. This Mr. Wang also left very politely. Luo Hua shook his head as he watched him leave. This was the 12th wave of people inviting his brother in the past few days. Those who have the courage to invite a representative-level fighter all have powerful backgrounds. For a power like the Su family, if it weren't for Su Xian, they wouldn't even have the right to visit a representative's house. That Mr. Wang just now was a representative of some of the most powerful people in China's political world. Where did brother go? Luo Hua stood in front of his house's courtyard. The dojo of limits invited him, the military invited him, the political world invited him, and even the HR Alliance invited him. There were invitations from both Europe and the United States. It seems like nobody knows that my brother went out to do something. What is brother doing? Luo Hua thought. Not many people know Luo Feng's current situation. During the celebration of New Year's, many people were watching a party. And in Mingyue Sector's autojet, Luo Feng sat cross-legged without moving in the dark cabin of the jet. In his realm of consciousness, Hue, a bright galaxy formed a whirlpool. The water crazily spun and formed circles of whirlpools. The whirlpool fiercely expanded and the water became much thinner, as if it was a transparent curtain of water. Whoosh, shrink. The originally expanding curtain of water fiercely shrunk and instantly became a gigantic spinning ball of water. The ball of water was translucent and had all sorts of strange lights flashing within it. An extremely small amount of dark gold shards were mixed within, clearly not completely dissolved yet. Expand, shrink. Expand again, shrink again. The stream of mind power was like a heart, expanding and contracting again and again, as if it had a life of its own. In this special rhythm, the dark gold shards gradually melted, making the water flow even stronger. Expand, thin as a cicada's wing. Shrink, penetrate the water ball. The 80th step is complete. I can start the 81st step, the last step. Luo Feng was also a bit excited. This last step was the most important step of the 81 spirits forging, and also the most difficult step. Within Luo Feng's consciousness, a completely transparent water ball was constantly rotating like a planet. There was no mist, and the size of the water ball did not change at all. Begin. Under Luo Feng's control. Boom, in the boundless sea of consciousness, the huge transparent water ball floating in the air began to vibrate from its core, emitting waves of psyche power mist that penetrated the entire transparent water ball. 10 wisps of psychic energy mist, 20 wisps of psychic energy mist, 30 wisps of psychic energy mist. More and more wisps of psychic energy mist appeared. Soon, the entire transparent water ball was covered by psychic energy mist. Time passed by minute. Under Luo Feng's extremely precise control, the transparent water ball continued to undergo minute changes. The mist on its surface became stronger and stronger, to the point where it formed a gigantic ball of mist. It was impossible to see the water ball inside the ball of mist. After an unknown amount of time, the gigantic ball of mist was already 100 times larger than the previous water ball. Seems to have dissipated. This is the moment. Explode. Luo Feng roared in his heart. Boom. The gigantic ball of mist in the boundless sea of consciousness instantly expanded. Just like a star exploding into a supernova at the end of its life, the gigantic ball of mist instantly exploded to its limit. It covered every part of the sea of consciousness. At the moment when it exploded to its limit, right after, an incredible suction force formed in the core of the sea of consciousness. Collapse. Large amounts of mist and water seemed to have fallen into a black hole as they crazily revolved and gathered at the core. 1. The entire sea of consciousness shook once. It was completely empty. All of the mist and water disappeared. In the boundless sea of consciousness, only the core dot of light was left. It was as if there was only one planet in the boundless universe. The surface of the planet even had a layer of light surrounding it, making it look like a ball of light. In the core of the sea of consciousness, there was only one ball of light. This was a beautiful ball of light. Other than the layer of light on the surface, the essence of this ball of light was formed by large amounts of transparent crystals in the shape of a pyramid. The densely packed transparent crystals gathered together to form a planet. A formless and strange vibration continuously spread from this ball of light. In the sea of consciousness, the only ball of light continuously revolved. A formless energy spread out and covered Luo Feng's entire body before spreading out of his body. Success! This is the Star Traveler level? This ball of light is the core of a Star Traveler level fighter. Luo Feng's mind moved. Pure spiritual force immediately spread out from the ball of light and covered his entire body. In the autojet, the moment Luo Feng's Star Traveler level spiritual force spread to his body, his originally calm body instantly started to undergo a drastic change. The bones, marrow, veins, muscles, fascia, skin, etc. in his body were all undergoing an unbelievable change. The genes in his body were also swiftly decomposing and reassembling. A life-form transformation. This transformation is much more important than any of the previous ones. Back in archaeological ruin number 9, the bald crystal person said that jumping from the student level to the Star Traveler level is a life-form transformation. After reaching the Star Traveler level, you don't need to breathe and can directly fly. Only after reaching the Star Traveler level can you be called a fighter and a spirit reader. Only after reaching the Star Traveler level can you roam the universe and have the right to live comfortably. Without reaching this level, you don't have the ability to roam the universe. This feeling is amazing. When the transformed spiritual force caused his body to transform, Luo Feng felt an unprecedented shock. It was as if his body, which reached its limit and couldn't grow anymore, instantly became a baby. The bones, muscles, and organs in his entire body all underwent a fundamental change. A life-form transformation. The increase in strength of a student level, from a student level 1, beginner level warrior, to a student level 9, advanced level war god, is an increase in the foundation of the original body. And reaching the advanced level war god level is already the limit. If I don't cross over, I'll never be able to break through, and once I cross over, my life form will step into a higher level, from the Star Traveler level 1 stage to the Star Traveler level 9 stage, ******** late at night. Many families in the Mingyue sector were already asleep. The hatch of the autojet parked in the grass slowly opened. Whoosh! A human silhouette rushed into the sky and then floated around 300 meters in the air. His black robe was fluttering in the wind. He wasn't stepping on anything and just floated. This is the Star Traveler level? Luo Feng looked down at the city below him and felt the ball of light in his realm of consciousness. He finally discovered the true power of the Star Traveler level. That ball of light isn't just a simple spiritual force core, it has a special ability. It can be said to be a miniature planet, can spin on its own and has its own magnetic field. The miniature planet in his realm of consciousness allows Luo Feng to not need to breathe. And it can even control the magnetic field around Luo Feng's body, according to his will. By counteracting the gravitational force from the Earth, he can naturally float. By giving himself a magnetic field, he can swiftly fly forward. In other words, Star Traveler level fighters can all have their own miniature planet. They are the owners of this miniature planet. According to the will of a Star Traveler level fighter, he can increase the strength of his magnetic field to a certain direction. That way, he can naturally fly as he pleases. However, the magnetic field of the miniature planet is limited, so a Star Traveler level fighter's flying speed is limited. No wonder they say that going from a student to the Star Traveler level is a leap in life. That's right. A Star Traveler level fighter can actually have a miniature planet that can spin on its own and has a magnetic field. Maybe this miniature planet is still very weak, but as it grows, it will naturally provide its owner, the Star Traveler level fighter, with even more help. Only a powerful fighter who has his own miniature planet can be considered a true human of the universe. Luo Feng was extremely moved. Night. Luo Feng floated in the sky above the city and opened his arms. My spiritual force has condensed into a miniature crystal planet. It has gathered together and caused my consciousness to become much stronger. Luo Feng was extremely happy. Just like a person with a weak body, his consciousness is weak and he can faint at any time. A person with a strong body will also be able to see clearly, and the spiritual force that originally existed in the form of a river has condensed into a miniature planet. It has indeed caused Luo Feng's consciousness to become much stronger. However, these opportunities are extremely rare. A leap in life, from the student level 9 stage to the Star Traveler level, from the Star Traveler level 9 stage to the Star level, from the Star Traveler level 9 stage to the Universe level, these are the true leaps in life. Only then will one's consciousness be strengthened. Normally, when one's strength increases, one doesn't have these opportunities. Soaring shuttle. Luo Feng's thoughts move. Immediately, the 365 blades that merged into his black vest swiftly flew out and formed the soaring shuttle, appearing under Luo Feng's feet. My body has formed a magnetic field around it, and my spiritual force will act as a force. And I'll step on the soaring shuttle. I wonder what level my flying speed will reach. In the sky above Yangzhou City, Luo Feng, who was like a god in the night, instantly became a blur. As if he teleported, he directly disappeared. P.S. Chapter 1. I've finally stepped into the Star Traveler level. These last few hours, don't waste your monthly passes, throw them at tomato. Chapter 205. For the first time, Luo Feng wasn't restricted by Earth's gravity. The feeling of being able to fly as he pleased was amazing. Night, wilderness. Luo Feng floated in midair and lowered his head to look at the mini-quantum computer. Luckily, I have a mini-quantum computer, let's test my speed. A mini-quantum computer is a must-have for every member of the UNMO planet. Its functions far surpass the tactical communications watch of Earth. It can test the basic combat strength of a student to the universe level. At the same time, it can detect the environment within a certain range, test speed, test the power of a certain attack, etc. I'll test all the different situations I'll be flying at once. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Luo Feng, dressed in black, flew through the sky like lightning time and time again. His speed was different every time. In just a short while, he finished testing all the different situations. The first situation, without using a magnetic field or the soaring shuttle, just using his spiritual force to push himself to reach a speed of 912 meters per second. The second situation, without using the soaring shuttle, but using a magnetic field and spiritual force, is what most spirit readers do. Luo Feng reached a speed of 1,223 meters per second. The third situation, which is Luo Feng's peak situation, explodes with the soaring shuttle, magnetic field, and spiritual force. His speed reached a shocking 2,412 meters per second. Using the soaring shuttle and not using the soaring shuttle are two completely different levels. Luo Feng was shocked by this number. A Star Traveler Level 1 stage spirit reader normally flies at 1,200 meters per second. And with the soaring shuttle, it can reach 2,400 meters per second. That's double the amount. Luo Feng was clear that the faster the speed, the more resistance there is. So it's extremely hard to increase the speed of 1,200 meters per second. And don't even mention doubling it in one go. Even a Star Traveler Level 4 or 5 stage fighter might not have such a shocking speed. From then on, from this, one can see how powerful the soaring shuttle is. A spirit reader with a spirit weapon sure increases his strength by a lot. Luo Feng was amazed. Let's test my current attack power again. With a thought, one of the blades in the soaring shuttle separated. Then, under the effect of his psychic power, the blade instantly turned into a stream of light and fiercely hit a dilapidated gas station building in the highway service area in the distance. The gas station building seemed to be made of tofu, and a hole was directly pierced through. The powerful explosion caused the entire dilapidated gas station to collapse. Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at the mini-quantum computer. Attack power, Star Traveler Level 128%, Spirit Reader. This number made Luo Feng extremely happy. There was an explanation on the AI that the so-called first-order planetary state of 28% was the highest value of the first star level, which was more than twice the lowest value. Star Traveler Level 1, Spirit Reader, had a minimum attack power of 1 million kilograms, and the highest weight was 2 million kilograms, and a Star Traveler Level 1 stage 28%, Spirit Reader, meant that Luo Feng's blade had an attack power of around 1.28 million kilograms. Just stepped into the Star Traveler Level 1 stage, and his throwing knife already has such power. Not bad. Luo Feng was quite satisfied with himself. According to the description of the AI, after stepping into the Star Traveler realm, there was a huge difference between spirit readers and genetic martial artists. The power of genetic martial artists was divided into physical strength and genetic origin energy. After stepping into the planetary realm, their origin energy could be released externally. His origin energy attack would reach 1 million kilograms, and his physical strength would also reach 1 million kilograms. So, the basic weight of a Star Traveler Level 1 martial artist was 2 million to 4 million kilograms, twice as much as a spirit reader. It looked like the martial artists had the upper hand. But keep in mind, in terms of strength amplifier, it's not bad for a fighter to be able to amplify it by 4 to 5 times. The highest on Earth, Thunder God, only amplified it by 7 times. And Luo Feng? Before stepping into the Star Traveler level, he amplified it by a full 16 times. In addition to the advantage of flying speed, moreover, spirit readers also need to train their genetic energy. After all, only a strong body can sustain spiritual force. Let's test out the power of the soaring shuttle's transformed mountain drill. In the dark night, a golden light flashed across, and a rumbling explosion sounded. Attack power: Star Traveler Level 1 Stage 28% Spirit Reader, amplification by 36 times. Looking at the numbers on the display, Luo Feng was extremely happy. An amplification of 36 times. Thunder God was only 7 times, and the other Star Traveler level Spirit Reader on Earth was only 14 times. The difference between them was huge. Actually, when Luo Feng used the first level of the mountain drill, he used 12 portions of spiritual force, amplifying it by 12 times. However, the power of the mountain drill increased the power of Luo Feng's spiritual force by 3 times, so the amplification reached a horrifying 36 times. According to what the bald crystal person said, most of the Star Travelers on Earth are at the Star Traveler Level 1 stage, a few are at the Star Traveler Level 2 stage, and 2 are at the Star Traveler Level 3 stage. The ones even higher are Hong and Thunder God, 2 Star Traveler Level 3 stage fighters. They're probably around the same level as me, but in terms of speed, they probably can't compare to me. Let's see how many hidden weapons I can control now. Luo Feng felt that his consciousness has grown quite a bit after the jump in life, but he didn't know how much he improved. With a thought, whoosh, 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 blade after blade left the soaring shuttle and flew around with extreme speed. Each blade maintained Luo Feng's strongest attack power. 1 blade, 2 blades, 3 blades, 16 blades, 17 blades, 18 blades. I can't use the 19th blade, 18 blades. The smile on Luo Feng's face became even brighter, 18. Then doesn't that mean I can learn the second level of the first form of the soaring shuttle? The soaring shuttle's first form has a total of 3 levels. The first level requires you to control 12 hidden weapons. The second level requires you to control 18 hidden weapons. The third level requires you to control 24 hidden weapons. Raising one's consciousness is extremely difficult. Luo Feng relied on the Star Traveler jump to raise it a little. From now on, he can only train step by step. The first level's power is only that strong. What about the second level? Even if it's 3 times the power, 18 times 3, that's a total of 54 times the attack amplifier. Anyone under Hong and Thunder God can be defeated in one move. Stepping into the Star Traveler level this time, the number of knives he can control jumped from 16 to 18. This was considered an additional gain, and this gain allowed Luo Feng to directly learn the second level of the first form of the soaring shuttle. However, when he actually learned it, Luo Feng realized that it was too difficult. Back then, when he was able to control 16 knives, he only needed to learn the first level of the 12 knives. He studied for a few hours and failed thousands and tens of thousands of times. This time, Luo Feng barely reached the standard. January 2nd, failure. January 3rd, failure again. January 4th, failure again. Luo Feng finally understood the difficulty of learning soaring shuttle. However, the difficulty was high. Once he succeeds, Luo Feng will definitely become the 3rd strongest warrior on Earth under Hong and Thunder God. As for now, Luo Feng had the confidence to defeat the 3rd and 4th chairman. However, it was hard for him to kill them in one move. Their strengths were relatively close. January 5th was the day Luo Feng took over as investigator. And on this day, in the wee hours of the morning, in the air above the ocean, a blood-red triangular fighter jet swiftly flew past. This fighter jet was Hong's unique prehistoric-level autojet. Within the fighter jet, the black-clothed Hong and the white-clothed Thunder God sat in their seat. "Brother Hong, don't fight with me for the good stuff on the Misty Island this time," Thunder God said. "Good stuff? Let's talk about the good stuff now. If you have the ability, get rid of that Emperor monster first." Hong glanced at Thunder God, picked up the cup of tea beside him and drank a mouthful, exclaiming, "This Emperor monster is currently the third Emperor monster on Earth. Even though it just appeared, it can unleash 100% of its power in the water and underground. Even though it's hard, this Misty Island definitely has great treasures." Thunder God said unwillingly, "Forget about the spirits of nature, you found the cloud contact vine on this Misty Island last time. According to the information we got from the archaeological ruins, this cloud contact vine, even in the vast universe, it's an extremely valuable treasure. With the cloud contact vine, Brother Hong, your strength has probably increased by quite a bit. The cloud contact vine is still growing. Right now, it can increase my strength by about 50%. The black-clothed man, Hong, let out a rare smile. 50%. Brother Hong, your strength is invincible within the Star Traveler level. 50% increase. When the cloud contact vine continues to grow, its effects will be even more shocking." Thunder God couldn't help but to say, "A cloud contact vine appeared on the Misty Island, and now a powerful monster that we've never seen before. It's definitely because of the treasure on the Misty Island that attracted so many monsters." Hong slightly nodded. When Luo Feng first discovered the Misty Island, there were large amounts of monsters in the lake around the Misty Island. Even though I was confused, why would so many water monsters gather in the lake? My mind was on the cloud contact vine, so I only took the cloud contact vine and investigated the Misty Island. I didn't find anything, so I left. Now it looks like, not only are there large amounts of Horde leader-level monsters in the lake, but there's also a monster emperor. Hong frowned. Looking at its octopus-like appearance, it's clearly suited for living in the water and underground. Logically speaking, at the level of the monster emperor, it should have entered the endless sea, but it has been hiding thousands of meters underground in Fog Isle. Spirits of nature, cloud contact vine, monster emperor. This Misty Island is indeed special. Hong looked at Thunder God and slightly smiled. However, the treasures on this Misty Island belong to the fated. Don't worry, I won't fight you for it. But you know, things like archaeological ruins aren't something that can be obtained by just being strong. It all depends on luck and fate. Thunder God slightly nodded and then grinned. After the new investigator ceremony of your dojo of limits ends, I'll stay on the Misty Island. I don't believe that I won't be able to get a treasure. If you stay there, I'll go too. Let's see who's lucky, smiled Hong. Greedy. Thunder God only said these 2 words. P.S. 2 chapters finished. In the last hour, throw your monthly votes at Tomato. Chapter 206. Yangzhou City, Minghua District. Early in the morning, the sun rose. Dad, be careful, slow down. Luo Feng supported his father, Luo Honghua, as Luo Honghua shakily walked step by step on the road of the sector. "Hello, Senator Luo." A young fighter in the sector saw Luo Feng and let out a face of worship as he respectfully yelled. In his heart, he was shocked. Representative Luo is already in existence, surpassing the war god level, and is on the same level as the presidents of the 5 great countries, yet he's still personally supporting his father. On the cobblestone road in the middle of the lawn, Luo Feng supported his father. "Little Feng, your identity is different now. You don't have to accompany me personally. Don't they have servants at home?" Luo Honghua lowered his voice and said, "Look, Many of my old neighbors have told me about it secretly. Little Feng, you're a counselor now. Pay attention to your status. I'm a representative, you're the representative's dad, you're still older than me. Luo Feng laughed. Luo Hongwa could not help but shake his head and smile. Seeing how his father was struggling to walk, Luo Feng felt a bit helpless. The Li Yao couple dealt with his family back then, especially his father, who almost lost his life. Although he was lucky enough to escape, his father's waist and spine were severely injured. Although he thought of ways to get some medicine, the effect wasn't that strong. Even now, his father still could not move his legs. If that 1,000-year-old black crow root was still here, my father would probably be able to recover after taking a little of it. Unfortunately, little brother sold the 1,000-year black crow root to someone else. Luo Feng didn't blame his brother. If his brother didn't use the 1,000-year black crow root to exchange for the position of the 8th shareholder of ICBC, his family would probably be in an even worse state. Even if I'm a planet-level warrior, it won't be easy for me to get a floral spirit. Luo Feng's head hurt. At the same time, he was grateful for his good luck back then. He obtained so many spirits of nature in one go and then used his wealth to exchange for the soaring shuttle. Noon. Little Feng, can you watch your inauguration ceremony in this channel? In the living room, his parents, his brother Luo Hua, and his girlfriend Zhen Nan were there. Even Zhen Nan's parents were there. This is the exclusive channel. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. The investigator inauguration ceremony will begin at 2 p.m. Today is the day he takes over as the investigator. This is a big event for the Dojo of Limits. It's a public appointment. However, this matter was said to be open to the public, but in reality, it was only open to the higher-ups of each country. Normal fighters and normal people don't really understand the situation of existences surpassing the war god level. Mom, Dad, I'm leaving first. At the same time, Luo Feng smiled and nodded towards Zhen Nan's parents. Zhen Nan's parents' hearts couldn't help but to speed up. This young man in front of them is an existence surpassing the war god level, who knows how many times higher than the boss of their company. January 5, 2059, 2 p.m. The Global Dojo of Limits Headquarters Large Conference Room. The investigator succession ceremony officially began. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Dojo of Limits Investigator Inauguration Ceremony. Today, the one participating in this ceremony is the head of the International Dojo of Limits, Hong. The MC on the stage introduced loudly. Instantly, the camera focused on Hong, who was sitting in the middle of the front row. The head of the Global Thunder Dojo, Thunder God. The third chairman of the Palace of War Gods, M.O. Henderson. The fourth chairman of the Palace of War Gods, Ister. The influential figures sat calmly in their seats, and the 3D virtual projection on the stage showed the figures of each guest who was introduced one by one. The last person I want to introduce is Representative Luo Feng, who is about to take over as the Global Dojo of Limits investigator. Suddenly, Luo Feng's figure appeared on the 3D hologram on the stage. This is the first time I've remembered so many representatives' names, said Luo Feng quietly. The investigator succession ceremony is a rare and important gathering for the representatives, laughed Luha, who was sitting beside Luo Feng. Luha, who was sitting beside Luo Feng, laughed softly. For this kind of ceremony, even the two heads will participate. The other three chairmen will also participate. Many representatives, unless there's something important, they'll all come, Luo Feng nodded. Next, we invite Jiangnan Headquarters Cities, Yangzhou Cities Xi'an Region's instructor, Jiang Nian. He's also Representative Luo Feng's earliest instructor, yelled the MC. Suddenly, music started playing. Instructor Jiang Nian, who was clearly nervous, swiftly stood up from his seat in the back of the conference room and ran towards the stage. Luo Feng was a bit stunned when he saw Jiang Nian. Even instructor Jiang Nian was invited? Lu He, what exactly is this ceremony about? asked Luo Feng quietly. 2 days ago, Yangzhou City's chief instructor Wu Tong, along with my brothers Chen Gu and Zhang Ku, were also invited. Are they going to go on stage today as well? This ceremony will introduce your glorious deeds from start to finish, laughed Lu He quietly. Don't rush, this is just the beginning. There will also be some singing and dancing performances in the middle. Those are the world's best singers, dancers, etc. Indeed, this so-called ceremony was basically an introduction of the inspector's past deeds. From Luo Feng living in a cheap rental house to training hard in the dojo, Jiang Nian went on stage. To his first fighter combat exam, Wu Tong went on stage. To his first time entering the wilderness with the Fire Hammer Squad, all members of the Fire Hammer Squad went on stage. To entering the elite training camp, teacher Jiang Fang went on stage. All of the deeds introduced were positive. The entire ceremony made Luo Feng look like a perfect genius fighter. Do you think you're great? Laughed Lu He quietly. A bit, I'm starting to worship myself a bit, laughed Luo Feng. In the middle of the ceremony, there were all sorts of singing and dancing performances. The ones that went on stage were all the best in the world. These masters all went on stage and expressed their admiration towards Representative Luo Feng. Some female singers even expressed their admiration. The entire ceremony was planned to last around 2 hours. The investigator ceremony was nearing its end. Representative Luo, a voice carried from behind the seat. Luo Feng turned his head in confusion. A white-haired old man behind him smiled. It's me, Lu Yen, old Lu, what are you doing? Luo Feng clearly remembered that Lu Yen wasn't sitting behind him during the seating arrangement. Clearly, he just switched seat. Representative Luo, do you remember that before you entered archaeological ruin number 9, you asked us to help you find your parents' relatives? Said Lu Yen. Oh right, nodded Luo Feng. His parents' biggest wish was to be able to find their relatives and friends that they lost contact with during the Grand Nirvana period. Back when he just became an examiner, he asked for help. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, over a year had passed and the news only arrived so late? You guys found it? Luo Feng asked. Yes, Lu Yen said apologetically in a low voice. Due to the establishment of the base city, many files were lost. It was indeed difficult to find. Back then, we spent quite a bit of effort to find him. But halfway through, Representative Luo Feng didn't come out from archaeological ruin number 9, so this work was temporarily stopped. Until recently, when Representative Luo Feng's strength greatly increased, we were able to use even more resources to investigate. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Of course, there was no need to spend too much effort on a dead war god. And the moment Luo Feng became a representative, the country's special forces immediately mobilized even more power to investigate. Their efficiency was much higher. I want to know how many of my parents' cousins are still alive, asked Luo Feng. His parents were both born after 2000. They were all only children, so the relatives and friends of their parents were naturally their cousins. We've found 2 of them, Lu Yen said in a low voice. One is your father's cousin brother, Tang Qing, and the other is your mother's cousin sister, Gong Xianhua. The mother of your father's cousin brother, Tang Qing, is still alive, which is your father's aunt, Luo Hong Qin. Of course, she's also your great-aunt, Representative Luo. Luo Feng froze. When he was young, his parents often mentioned this aunt, Luo Hong Qin, when they talked about their relatives and friends. His aunt wasn't much older than his father, Luo Honghua. She often took his father out to play and even bought food for him. Who would have thought that his aunt was still alive? As for his mother's cousin, Gong Xianhua, Luo Feng heard his mother talk about her before, but she didn't talk much. As for the other relatives, we're still investigating, said Lu Yen. Thanks, Luo Feng nodded. I'll send the information to Representative Luo later, smiled Lu Yen. Indeed. Even though many people died during the Grand Nirvana period, there were still quite a few relatives of his parents, so it's unlikely that all of them died. Indeed, 2 families have been found. His parents will definitely be excited when they find out. Distinguished guests, now is the most important moment of this ceremony. Let's welcome Representative Luo Feng, yelled the host. Luo Feng stood up and walked up to the stage amidst the music and under the gaze of everyone in the meeting room. The host slightly bowed towards Luo Feng and continued. Next, we would like to invite the world's #1 person, the head of the Dojo of Limits, Hong, to personally appoint Mr. Luo Feng as the 6th investigator of the Dojo of Limits. Hong, dressed in black, walked up to the stage. Hong stood in front of Luo Feng. Head Luo Feng looked at Hong. Hong slightly flipped his hand and the Limit Investigator badge, that symbolizes the authority of an investigator, appeared in his hand. When Hong carefully looked at Luo Feng, he couldn't help but to be slightly shocked. Luo Feng, you broke through? Under the gaze of the powerful fighters below the stage. The space around Hong and Luo Feng slightly distorted, completely isolating sound. I just broke through not too long ago, smiled Luo Feng. A Star Traveler level spirit reader can fly extremely fast. You also have the soaring shuttle, so your speed should be even more shocking. What's your speed? Hong's eyes flashed. Head, what Star Traveler level? Luo Feng pretended to be curious. I'll tell you later, followed Hong. What's your current flying speed? Luo Feng didn't hide anything. Over 2,400 m/s, phew, over 2,400 meters per second? Much faster than the 4th chairman, Eastbourne. In terms of flying speed, you rank 3rd on Earth. Only slightly slower than me and Thunder God. Hong slightly nodded. After this ceremony, prepare to follow me to Misty Island. With your current speed, staying alive shouldn't be a problem. Misty Island? Luo Feng was even more confused. We'll talk about it after the ceremony. As he said that, Hong passed the Limit Investigator badge in his hand to Luo Feng. Luo Feng solemnly received it. From now on, Luo Feng was one of the 6 great investigators of the Dojo of Limits. P.S. Chapter 1 here.